All right. You ready? My spirit
I got
fingers.
yeah. Good.
Three,
3, 2,
2, 1.
1.
Yay!
And
We're back. We're back.
oh no, how's everyone doing this fine Friday
Friday.
evening,
Friday.
man? Oh my gosh, it's been a minute since the last time we did a podcast, guys. And apologies. Why? Because expanded universe is so freaking vast, the Star Wars universe, and that episode is coming eventually. I
Yeah, yeah.
promise you. I promise you. I'm currently trying to work out the
Yeah.
details and everything
Yeah.
else because
Freaking
again, if
Peter Jackson over here is writing the script for the TV series finale of our Star Wars show, and it was supposed to be like we teased on
just
Instagram. It was just supposed to be Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Mandalorian.
mm,
And we were going to sprinkle in news and notes like we usually
yeah,
do at the beginning.
yeah,
But as JR went along, he texted me over the last couple of days. He's like, "Bro, dude, this is gonna be a long ass episode." He's like, "Do we just
yeah,
cancel news and notes?" I'm like, "Dude, throw it out. We'll
yeah,
boom. Welcome to the episode. Let's get into Clone Wars."
yeah. I will say that just to just give preface about what the reason, like the reason why it was supposed to be just originally Mandalorian, no, Clone Wars, Rebels, and Mandalorian is supposed to be those three, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But if I try to take anything out of that equation, right, like what's going on? Like who's Thrawn? Who is Ahsoka Tano going
yeah,
after?
yeah,
Who's Thrawn? Well, let's talk about Thrawn. We gotta talk about Heir to the Empire, which is an expanded universe title right after I think 1990 something when Dark Horse took over the license from Marvel. Well, guess
yeah,
what? That's a whole different series, my guys. That also features Mara Jade. That features all the other things. It's amazing how Filoni and Favreau are doing things because they're weaving in and out other expanded universe stuff. They're making stuff canon, guys,
yeah.
and that is exciting, super
And
exciting. But
so
yeah, of
we
course,
need to weave it all together. So, like I said, Peter Jackson over here is taking a one episode, one movie, and
yeah.
divided it up into 3 episodes.
Oh
But
god.
no, we're gonna get to it. Maybe it'll happen next week. As we're
Mm-hmm.
recording this, this is Friday, February 12th. Um, and normally we would record on a Sunday or a Monday to do our shows. And I think because of the holiday this week, it being Valentine's Day on Sunday,
Valentine's
um,
Day, someone.
that
Yeah.
we're not going to record on Sunday, but we're going to
Mm.
try to bang out. As you're watching this, expect, maybe don't expect, who knows? You might get 2 episodes this week. Who
Yeah.
knows? We're going to try. It
Yeah.
all depends on the brain over there and make sure it doesn't get completely fried. But we've got a ton of stuff to get to. And it's nice to have non Star Wars stuff behind us for the first time.
Yeah.
But
I know.
I do have the sword logo, my new Marvel obsession. We won't get into too much detail about what the significance of that is until
Gonna say something.
a few more people have watched the new hit
Uh.
series on Disney Plus, WandaVision. So that's all
Mm,
I'm going to say.
mm.
But I do want to start this up because it's not in your. I don't think it's in
So
your news and notes.
yeah.
Um, but I want to talk about kind of
Yes, sir.
ties into Sword, and that is Shield.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Shield, of course, we know from the extended Marvel universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe. It stands for the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. Of course, it has
Yep.
been essentially Marvel canon for decades, both in the comics, the TV
Mm.
side, and the movies. It is the parent company. It at the beginning kind of oversaw the Avengers. Obviously, in the movie universe, it created the Avengers Initiative. It's the police state. It's the police unit, so to speak, of the Marvel universe. As God, I can't think of his name now. The guy that was the bad guy in Agents of Shield season one said he goes, um, they investigate the weird stuff, and so I remember having a conversation with my daughter a few months ago. Actually, it's probably almost a year or so ago when uh, they announced that they were going to do Space Force. Which can we just basically say Space Force is basically Starfleet? Can we just
Mm.
admit that now? I mean, yeah, I know it's the Department of the Air Force. Starfleet technically was the Department of the Navy in the Star Trek universe. Um, but or I think it was a joint venture between multiple. nationalities and stuff like that. But nonetheless, and then talking with friends of mine who are going to be guardians in the Space Force, said that that's the kind of the word around the base, so to speak. And this is not speaking out of turn. That it's their goal in the long term is essentially what amounts to the 5-year journey. They're going to launch shuttles, next generation shuttles into space, and they're going. It's kind of like I have a friend of mine who graduated from the Air Force Academy, is enlisted in Space Force, and is a nerd, super nerd, and said basically Space Force is a combination of Alpha Flight and Starfleet. More so Starfleet, because they want to do deep space. They want to go and do the 5-year journey and explore where go where no man has gone before. Anyway, so talking to my daughter about this, and I'm explaining to her like how big of a deal this is. Like for nerds, this is like, holy crap, dude, we've crossed over to the real world. Like nerd stuff has come to the real world because there's Starfleet on American soil. This is so cool. And I jokingly said, Dad, if you ran for president, what would you create? I'm creating S.H.I.E.L.D. Hands down, I'm creating S.H.I.E.L.D. Why not?
Nice.
Because if we start going to space, there's going to be some weird shit. So you might as well start creating the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. But the United States government and the Canadian government have already beat me to it. It was reported, of all things about the United States government activity, reported on comicbook.com about a month ago. This was a story that I wanted to put in our podcast a few weeks ago, but it was reported about a month ago that a joint venture, which will be a subdivision of NORAD, which is a
wow.
What's that?
Yeah, well, NORAD. Wow, I didn't think I'd hear that being dropped in our podcast.
NORAD
really?
is a kind of a they do kind of observe and kind of keep an eye on the space around Earth and stuff like that to make sure things are. Well, a joint venture between the Canadian government and the United States government as a kind of a tie-in with NORAD. They literally have created S.H.I.E.L.D. And it is almost, I don't know what the acronym exactly stands for, but they are using the acronym S.H.I.E.L.D. They do credit Marvel for their inspiration for creating this division. And it is what it is. And they've flat out said it. If we're going to space and we plan on going to deep space, we need to have an agency that is there to investigate, protect, and to monitor the goings on of stuff. So yeah, there is now there is a real S.H.I.E.L.D. organization.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of fact before we get SWORD, but S.H.I.E.L.D. will be on Earth. And I would imagine it's only a matter of time before we get Alpha Flight or SWORD.
Yeah. NORAD stands for North American Aerospace Defense Command, which is an interesting term because I remember hearing this term years ago, but my friend who actually for a couple of my friends who wanted to be in like the space division of NASA, just trying to be in NASA, or as well as possible venues out to what happens after you're in the Navy or you're in the oh my God, I'm missing my term. I forgot. It's a division of the Navy. I just totally freaking forgot,
Marines?
Man. No, not Marines. Marines is
Marines is a department of the Navy.
Marines part of the Navy? I think you're talking about SEALs, aren't you?
The SEALs are the elite team of the Navy, but the Marines, the United States Marine Corps, is a division of the United States Navy. It's its own branch of the military, but it is technically.
It's supposed to be. It's a division. Yeah, I'm thinking Rangers, my fault. But yeah, I'm thinking about
SEAL Team 6.
Before. No, not SEAL Team 6. I'm also thinking about our airspace as well. Okay, whatever. But before going on tangent right now, let's go.
But I think it's really cool that 1960s. You're sitting there and you're watching CBS and you're watching William Shatner and you're watching Leonard Nimoy and the greats perform Star Trek, and you see the captain's log, and you're seeing that kind of stuff. Beam me up, Scotty, and stuff like that. And in our lifetime, right here, buddy, we got our little Starfleet communicator. I wish we had the ability to beam us up. I wish we had that technology. I want that technology more than anything. That would be cool. I just don't want to be the first person to do teleporting.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Then
All the
Jr.
molecules
first.
trying to come.
There's
I'm
a
good.
lot
I'm
more of
good.
him.
I
um,
am good with that, my guy. I'm good with that.
but
Yeah.
I have seen. I had a cousin who was in the Air Force, and she since
Yeah.
retired, and she used to tell me, "I can't tell you what we're working on because I'd have to kill you," and I was like, "Oh, okay." They always said like, "No, seriously, I have to." She's like, "But if you want an idea, go down a toy aisle at Toys R Us." This was 25 years ago. Because go down a toy aisle at Toys R Us and look at like GI Joe and see the things that the GI Joes have, like the tanks and the shuttles and stuff. Because that's what the United States military is working on. He goes, they just because Mattel gets a patent on it and freaking slaps GI Joe on the side and sells it to 12-year-olds. So, but yeah, I mean, the technology that have been in toys are now what the military is building and stuff like that. And it's really cool that I can watch TV and see military exercises, and I get to see, oh, that was in uh Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos from 1982, issue number 6. It's just it's so cool. We're living in this golden age, JR, of
Mhm.
nerddom. We have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have the DCEU. We have the Arrowverse. We have Disney Plus and HBO Max at our fingertips, and we have these Zoom calls. I mean, this is like, put it on the screen. When the Captain uh,
The card.
Picard or Captain
Yeah.
Kirk want to
Uh,
talk
Oh
to
yeah. Yeah.
the Romulans or something like that. But I do think it's kind of neat that
Yeah.
that the real world is okay and feels comfortable now to rip from pop culture to
Yeah,
expand.
I feel like that should have been a way of going things because for for any longtime fan who has been in science fiction, who's been a fan of science fiction, we knew this was coming. This was gonna come. This gonna have some type of um some type of not leeway, but comparison. We're like, yo, how like we're gonna need space travel eventually.
Yeah.
We're
Well, I
gonna
think
need all these things, and so I'm like, so it's crazy how we tackle these it's crazy how we're gonna tackle these type of problems where how do we get to light speed, because light speed is the bar of work of
oh
like
yeah,
of how to you
travel,
do
do
spacefaring
things.
travel, because yeah I keep on people constantly go to Interstellar, right? For for a look at possible space travel and like how time affects absolutely everything, right? Like how freaking how the dad can look like the same, like he hasn't left the farm yet while his daughter is like 87 years old now, right? When it hasn't been because of spin because of how far time travels and lesson of that. And like we don't want that absolutely. How do we get past that, basically?
Yeah.
Like how do we get past basically at this point time travel, or try to accelerate to the point where like just space travel and for light speed? Like how do we get to that point? Because real world, if anything goes in this anywhere near the speed of space, there's gonna be a black hole created somewhere.
Yeah.
Right, our entire freaking solar system would be destroyed in the span of less than a zeta, like a zeta second, I think it's called, or something like that. Like
Yeah.
everything would be just dead and dead, like dead with anything with mass. And so that is definitely an interesting type of conundrum to get through. Like, how is this stuff then logically done? Because as you're talking about some of the stuff that Nick Fury had in the in the comic books, man, I remember Nick Fury, the Man on the Wall. If y'all know that, if anyone knows the Man on the Wall, a series where Nick Fury was the guy to fight off all the possible outside worldly threats that come to the earth, man. That's some crazy tech, bro. And if we were on that type of level, man, that's just kind of
It's only
that's
a matter of time, because I
yeah,
said our imagination is the only thing
yeah.
that kind of holds us back,
What,
is our
what
or the lack thereof. And
yeah,
I kind of put a pretty little bow on our little conversation here to start things
yeah.
off, and I quote Natalie Portman as Dr. Jane Foster from the original Thor, and that
Mm,
is, science fiction is only science fiction is the precursor to science fact. So we are, like I said, I challenge anybody. It's when she's talking to Eric Selvig in
Yeah,
Thor, and she
yeah,
goes, "You're
I remember
talking
that.
about science fiction. You're talking about fantasy." When referring to Thor and Loki and
Yeah,
the Bifrost and stuff, and she goes, "Science
yeah,
fiction is things that just haven't been proven yet. Science
yeah.
fiction is the precursor to science fact." So,
Mm,
like I said, we, yeah, Jr. is right. Theoretically,
mm.
uh, light speed is impossible because uh, it would rip a
Dire
hole in
space.
space and time.
Mm.
And I think that, you know, Isaac Newton, or not Isaac Newton, oh my gosh,
Einstein.
Einstein kind of hinted at that, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. It could still happen. And like I said, it is the 5-year journey. You know, this is something that, you know, they're going to take it slow. And that's why they did. And I know people are going, oh, of course, leave it to humans. They want to colonize another planet. I'm like, maybe it's just a jump point. You know, it's just we build a base on the moon and we use that as a jumping off point to go to the next planet and the next planet and
Mm.
see where we can go. And you know, there's we're
I
constantly
mean,
exploring. I know we have a couple of
yeah.
one or two rovers on Mars, and
Mm.
it's so. I remember seeing the first images of Mars and just going like, it looks like the Mojave Desert. And I know some people go, it probably is. It's just it's probably just created on a soundstage. Probably John Favreau created it in his garage. But nonetheless,
Mm.
guys, to all the people out there that are dreamers and want to become scientists, you know what? When people say don't don't do that, come on, it's you're living a pipe dream. Or if you sit there and you feel inspired by stuff like Thor and Agents of Shield and Captain Marvel and Big Bang Theory or Star Wars or Star Trek, hey, if that's your inspiration, dude, freaking go for it. And like Dick Clark used to say, reach for the stars. I think that was Dick Clark. But nonetheless,
Somebody
that's
somewhere.
somebody said it. And reach for the stars. Oh, it wasn't reach. It wasn't Dick Clark. It was Casey Kasem. That's what it
Mm.
was. And reach for the stars. Anyways, so moving right along, it has been a busy couple of weeks. I wanted to get that Shield story up because, like I said, I'm such a Shield nut. I
Mm.
love the old stories. I love Nick Fury, the Howling Commandos. I love Agents of Shield. I love the books that were written about them in Marvel canon, and it's kind of funny. Um, Real quick, kind of tie in.
Yeah.
Jr. has in the notes here and refer to a trailer of a movie that's coming out this year, allegedly, and that
Yeah.
is F9, Fast and Furious 9. And his notes is, how many times can they blow up the damn house? It's the same thing. How many times can they blow up Shield in the comic books? They've done it for about 40 years. So,
Yeah.
but that tied into a iconic sporting event that has crossed the boundaries of both sports and pop culture, and that is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55 was
Yep.
a week or so ago. Of course, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs handily, 31 to
Yeah.
9.
Mm.
So a lot of iconic moments that were very superhero esque. Uh, Hence, like our version of the Hulk, we have the Gronk, and we saw Captain America, aka Tommy Boy Brady, get absolutely blitzed, Florida style, on the Riviera over there in the boat parade. Decided to throw around the Lombardi Trophy, showing his
Yeah, I
superhero.
know.
He was throwing that thing around like it was Cap Shield. I'm telling you right now. So
I will say this in compare it's yeah, for the awesome Pat Mahomes, man. Yo, you gotta give that man a better O line. Like they were running through that they're running through that O line like like a hot knife through butter, man.
oh,
It was
absolutely.
it was a sad thing to see. Granted, of course, they tested like seven or eight of his teammates, and like they all got COVID, and like that sucked too. But like that man, dude, it is insane the amount of accuracy that this freaking guy had getting tackled, going left to right, and everything's nearly almost on point. There are a couple, of course, that were being overthrown, but like, dude, when you're getting rushed every single freaking time, and your own line is like, oh, well, I don't know what to do, guys. Like, it was insane. But yeah, of course, we was gonna knew the goat was gonna be the goat. 7 rings, big dynasty, big, like, yeah. Just to talk about a little bit with Tom, man. I feel like I'm glad that we see this version of Tom now, where he's a lot more chill, he's a lot more laid back, he's a lot more open to talk about, right? And I also kind of hit back to like, dang man, they really did try to shut his ass up in the Patriots, man, or they really wanted to be the face and be like stern and be the guy. You gotta be clean cut, white America type of dude. But now you see him and he's older and like, you just chill now, and I freaking love that, man.
And maybe you know what? I hated Tom Brady. I'm a
Mm,
Raider fan, not a diehard. I used to be, but I'll sit there and say to them, blue in the face. It was a fumble. I will say this in the Super Bowl against the St. Louis Rams time, that there were 3 seconds left on the clock.
mm,
That
mm,
you could have given one of the greatest return teams in NFL history, the St. Louis Rams, 3 seconds to run a kickoff back. So when Adam Vinatieri or whatever his name was
yeah.
kicked that field goal in the win his first Super Bowl, there was still 3 seconds left on the clock, and they just said, no, forget it. So there's a lot of bitterness that I have towards Tom Brady and the Patriots, but at the same time, dude's amazing.
Yeah.
He I don't think he revolutionized the game, but
No.
he used what he had. And yeah, maybe there was a
Yeah.
little Kool-Aid being drank in Foxborough, but
A little. Come on now.
who knows. But you look at it though, look at who the New England Patriots, and I know it's not a sports show, but who the New England
Mm,
Patriots surrounded Tom Brady with. Some of the biggest troublemakers in the
mm,
NFL. You look
yeah.
at Randy Moss. Randy Moss got thrown out of the Raiders. He
Mm,
was slightly under control with Oakland, but he was still Randy Moss. Randy Moss is a pain in the ass.
yeah.
And he
He
goes
went
to New
to
England,
New England. He went
and
damn near
they
perfect.
and he yeah becomes a model citizen. So yeah, there's some Kool-Aid being drank in that the hoodie knows how to uh,
Mm,
kiss the ring and listen and obey. But
mm.
no, congrats to Florida man Tom Brady.
Oh
Um,
no, for a little bit, for a little bit. I
you know,
wonder. I wonder if his wife actually went down to Florida and to live with him. And the kids
I
went
think
down.
so. No, I think was down there. I think she was on the boat with the kids. But it's funny though.
Really?
It's, in the video, you could hear his daughter saying, "No, Daddy, no," when he went to throw the Lombardi Trophy. It was hilarious.
Mhm.
If you
Oh
haven't seen
man.
that video, you can find it on Twitter or YouTube
Yeah.
or something like that. But interesting and typically a very subdued Super Bowl this year. Obviously, with
Yeah. Of
COVID, a lot
course.
of companies choosing not to release
Yeah.
big commercials and not spend as much money as they have in the past. When typically a Super Bowl commercial runs a good, I think they say $6 million or something.
I think more, dude. Some
Yeah,
insane amount, bro.
it's something insane. But there were still some good ones. Obviously, the Fast Nine one was there didn't show a lot because I think, well, do they
30
even
second.
know if they do they even know
30-second
there's
ad.
going to be a Fast Nine this year? I think
Yeah.
is it set up for this year or next year?
I think it was supposed to be this year, but like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna push everything back now. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a 30-second ad. So.
So, Coming to America, I did see that trailer. It was
Mm,
funny, a lot of great pop culture references
mhm,
in that.
mhm.
I like that. He's like, "Oh, dude, where are you from? Wakanda?" He's like, "Wakanda is a fake country." It's just like,
Not to some people. That was yeah, yeah, yeah. That's I forgot her name, but she was in SNL. She was an SNL
yeah.
SNL regular. Yeah.
Well, I've never seen the first one. I do need to see it. I do want to see this one.
Oh come on,
I
my
am a fan of
guy.
Eddie. I am a fan of Eddie Murphy. I
Mm,
just it came out before when I was a kid. I just
mm,
never got around to watching it. I've heard nothing but great things about it. But and I know that one of my favorite artists, uh, Ludacris,
yeah.
references Coming to America a bit in his songs. So I know I've heard the references. I do need to watch it. And yes, I did. People, I did.
You really give. We can't back away from that Ludacris reference. You really gotta bring out Ludacris. Come on.
You know what reference I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly. Come on, my guy. Royal balls are.
King
Come
shit.
on. King shit.
And yes,
Royal
the
balls are
white
clean
boy
every
just
just.
admitted
Oh
that he's a
my
Ludacris
god.
fan. That was my stuff. I have a
All
buddy.
right, man. You are definitely invited to some barbecues out here, bro. Come
I'm telling you, my buddy. Shout out to my boy Wybie. I ran
on.
track with in college, and he introduced me. That was our warm up. Like we would bump, Ludacris,
Oh,
and it was
move
just like,
the bed down to the flow. Yeah, I'm
oh,
just thinking
he's
like
amazing.
90s.
I don't care what anybody says about hip hop when it comes to its place in pop music and popular culture and in the
Mm-hmm.
whole music genre.
Mm.
Ludacris is a very talented artist. Um,
Absolutely.
he's shown his
Absolutely.
range in Fast and the Furious as a very funny actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he can show his range as a dramatic actor as well. I don't think he's been given a lot of roles, but
Yeah.
um,
I think he
I
won.
forget what his real name is.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
But
I just know him as Luda.
it's
That's it.
Luda,
That's always know.
Luda
It's
oodles and
Luda.
noodles. I can't
Luda.
help it. Luda. But it is the new, the new, was this the new
Is it?
Shyamalama
Oh
Ding Dong
my
movie?
God. Old. Oh, dude, did you? What the hell was
I
that, bro?
don't. I have stopped asking when it comes to his movies. I just stopped. They're
All right.
not going to make any sense, and there's going to be a
Yeah.
big reveal at the end.
Yeah. Can we just try to theorize right now what the ending's gonna be?
The dog did
That could possibly get. I mean,
it because
no.
he
I
already
mean,
said that he
yeah.
already
When
made aliens and ghosts and
and trees.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go zany. They're all just a fabrication of someone else's mind that's going through some type of mental illness or some type of sickness.
Hmm.
Because well, when I think about Lady of the Lake and how Lady of the Lake fucking put out and how batshit crazy that ending was. It's freaking M Night Shyamalan. Like, granted, he's trying to make some. He has somewhat. You really put that out. Okay, cool, dude. Have Shyamalan when he did the last two he did Glass and what's the other one he did?
Oh God, I can't. Was it lady? No. Oh my God.
No, it's Glass, right? It's his own superhero verse.
Oh yeah.
Like
Crap.
besides
Is
like
that the one with James
Switch.
McAvoy
Yeah. It's
and Bruce
yeah.
Willis
Yeah.
and
But Glass that one was with Glass, the 3 1, but the one with just James McAvoy. With Anna Taylor Johnson, I think. No, Anna Taylor. Yeah.
God, I can't remember. I know what you're talking
Uh,
about. And he's
yeah.
schizophrenic and
Yeah, and he has like multiple personalities. Split. There you go.
Split. That's it. I knew it was gonna come to
And
me.
yeah, the boy got freaking huge for that role. Good God, James McAvoy.
He is an amazing actor.
Yeah,
And
he's an amazing actor.
hear me out. Could you
Yeah.
imagine letting M Night Shyamalan loose in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
No. He could
Maybe,
no.
maybe.
No, I do not want him near anything near Mark because one, he also did Avatar, The Last Airbender, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
Exactly.
Uh, moving right along before we start
I'm
chasing a lot of
never
rabbits.
letting
By the way,
anyone forget about
the
that.
moaning you're hearing coming from JR is I have switched my background. If you're watching the YouTube version, I've switched my background from the sword logo um, to an iconic cover.
Amazing.
I think it's issue number 1 or number 2 of House of M. It's a variant cover,
Yeah.
and it's Wanda Maximoff, and she's just kind of coming apart. It's an iconic cover. You'll see it. And trust me,
Spoilery.
we will be discussing this very, 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 very soon.
What was the episode? Wait, before that, what's episode 7 tonight, right?
No, episode 6. Episode 6 dropped as we speak. It is again Friday, February 12th. Episode 6 dropped tonight. There are 3 episodes left, and obviously the show had. When we're talking about WandaVision, we're not going to get into any discussion on WandaVision until all 9 episodes have dropped. I think it's a fair thing.
Yeah,
I think most of the people that I've had discussions with that are regular listeners and viewers of our podcast are caught up. But I think that because as we continue to expand outside of the United States, we've got a lot of followers, and of course JR's homeland. My homeland. We got some Irish folks listening to us. I don't know where Disney Plus stands in a lot of foreign countries and the availability of WandaVision. So for those of you who are wanting us to open up that can of worms, not going to get
Yeah.
to it until at least
Yeah.
the first season is completed.
Yep.
Speaking of completing season 1 of WandaVision, do you know what comes out right after we complete WandaVision?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so
Freaking
excited, my dude.
Falcon and Bucky show.
Oh hell
Um,
yeah, man. Oh
Falcon the
yeah.
Winter Soldier is hitting
Yeah.
Disney Plus in
Yep.
early March. We saw a little teaser trailer during the Super Bowl, during the big game,
Yep.
and then of course it encouraged us to head on over to YouTube, and
Mhm.
we found the full 2-minute trailer, which was epic. We get to
Yeah.
see a little bit of a tease of Baron Zemo.
Yep.
Could he be putting together a team? He hints about not wanting there to be any more superheroes. The world does not need superheroes. There is rumored that Baron Zemo is putting together the Thunderbolts.
Oof.
It is
That'd be
the
nice.
bad guy version of the Avengers.
Mhm.
So people like wasn't oh gosh, what's the guy who's
Uh,
was
Ross.
the general
Yeah,
Thunderbolt
Ross. Yeah,
Ross?
Ross. Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross.
At one point he was,
Red
if he
Hulk.
wasn't the leader, he was a part, definitely was part of it when he was Red Hulk though, or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. Well, he was General Ross was one a general. He's general in the army, as well as
Well, didn't he run it
uh,
because it's technically his call sign is
yeah,
Thunderbolt?
yeah. Thunderbolt. It's just that also he was part of it because he turned into the Red Hulk. So yeah, like whoever's gonna like that's gonna be an interesting little thing too. If you
Well,
have
we're getting another Hulk show.
exactly, we're getting another Hulk show for that too. So
By
that'd
the
be
way,
freaking cool to see.
um, I did a little research on Miss Tatiana.
Mhm.
I approve.
Mm.
Yeah, she's a fantastic actress, and she's beautiful. And Jennifer uh, um, Walters does play that line, whereas she's big, she's bulky, she's in human form. But obviously
She's
she's this big bulky Hulk
yeah,
in her form. But Jennifer Walters is a beautiful
yeah,
woman,
yeah.
smart, quick witted, and stuff like that. So
I need to know which version of She-Hulk is going to be. Is it going
we
to
don't
be
know.
the original? Is it going to be the original, fourth wall breaking She-Hulk that I know and love, or is it going to be the more recent occurrence after post Civil War II, where she becomes more Hulkish, where she
And
be
I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of around the post Civil War II, right around the Secret Empire, where
ah
she is more along the lines of a Professor Hulk,
yeah
where she's not quite Hulk smash, um, but she has the ability to transform between Jennifer Walters and
yeah
Gigantor She Hulk,
yeah
or are we
yeah
going to see Professor Hulk, meaning the smoothed out
yeah
version
from
of the Hulk.
uh,
Yeah.
of what we've seen of Infinity War slash Endgame. That's what I want to know too. Be like which version of Hulk are we gonna get? Because if it's the more modern version of Hulk right now, that is that's a cool thing to do too, because it's a bulkier, bigger, woman She-Hulk, She-Hulk. But at the same time, that She-Hulk is much more ravaged, much more savage in comparison to her previous incarnations. Because, well, one, she just found out that her cousin died in Civil War II, and that there's a bunch that Rhodey, one of her best friends, was killed because of Thanos, and Thanos fucked her up immensely.
Yeah,
And so
that
she
really messed her up.
she was scarred from that, and she became more of Bruce Banner Hulk, and she was scared of that.
That's right. Didn't
Yeah,
she become prior to Civil War II?
yeah.
Wasn't she more a big, intimidating Hulk, or
No,
she was the
no, she was
smooth Professor
regular.
Hulk kind of?
Yeah, she was very professional. She was the Jennifer Walters that was like always seen as like that witty, always that lawyer esque, always quick witted, on the go, cool. She's freaking awesome, fourth wall breaking every single damn time. And then right after Civil War II happened, where everyone got messed up, she became scared of being Hulk, because that was one of the first times that we've seen her lose control, and she became more of the Incredible Hulk from Bruce Banner. And that's the thing I want to know. This big brute, like this big the Hulk that you and I know, is the smooth, like, yeah, she's able to talk enunciate. She took care of freaking Frank. She took care of the Richard kids that when she was in Fantastic Four. That Hulk, I don't know. I hope we had that Hulk, but then like it'd still be cool too if you have the more recent incarnation of She Hulk, where she's dealing with a lot of mental problems too,
Yeah.
a lot of dissociative mental health issues, and so like that's great too because that's a great issue to talk about as well. It's just more so like which version of Hulk are we getting? That's the thing I just want to know. I'm cool. I'm rocking with either. I just want to know which Hulk though, because it'll be for me. The child in me, the kid in me, wants to see old She Hulk. The whole look at the camera and just if you don't buy my comic book, I'm gonna rip up your X-Men. Yeah, I'm gonna rip up your X-Men comics type stuff, right? Like I want that She Hulk.
Yeah.
That's the She Hulk that I grew up with. But then if you have the more recent one, I'm cool with that too. So that's it.
And like I said, looking forward to it. She-Hulk. I don't know if it's in production yet, but it is
Yeah.
the series coming to Disney Plus. A lot of stuff coming to Disney Plus.
Oh my gosh,
Uh,
man.
it is though we have not seen him yet in any of the trailers. It is reported, according to Don Cheadle and Marvel Studios, is that Don Cheadle's War Machine will appear in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Speaking
yeah.
of rumors,
Yeah.
gonna deviate here just for a second because we're talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we're
What
talking about the new.
deviation? What you talking about deviation with? What are you talking about? We never deviate from our podcast. Go ahead, bro.
We talked about a couple of weeks ago that Chris Evans is reportedly
Yo,
coming back to the
yo,
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yes, sir.
And we did a whole kind of section on one of our podcasts about what could he possibly going to be doing. Is he going to come
Yeah.
back and play Old Man Rogers? Is he going to come back and just do a couple of cameos? What's he going to do? And we, of course, theorized that he could come back and resurrect S.H.I.E.L.D. now that we have seen its baby sister version of S.W.O.R.D. kind of make its debut. We're not going to get into much more of that, but
I mean,
that maybe he's going to come back, play Old Man Rogers, who was a director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point. Of course, like we said, inevitably they had the Pleasant Hill experience, and downward goes the spiral of Steve Rogers, and he becomes evil Hydra, Cap, whatever. Anyways, so there was a whole talk of that that he could come back. The most obvious answer is that he's going to come back and shoot some cameos, because we do know, well, maybe not all of us know, but we have a feeling that most of Phase 4 is going to be dealing with the multiverse. We know that Doctor Strange 2 is going to be dealing with the multiverse. Hell, it's right in its name. They have casted a character. They've announced it. America Chavez is going to be making her debut.
oh yes.
And so she is not from our world. We do know that it's alleged that Spider-Man 3 is going to deal with the basically the Tom Holland third Spider-Man, for those of you who are keeping track at home, is allegedly going to deal with some form of the multiverse, with the possibility of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire making their return as the web crawler to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and kind of crossing over. We do know that it's been reported that not only Alfred Molina, but also my gosh, I can't think of his name now. Christopher,
his name,
not Christopher Walken, but
Christopher,
not the guy. The guy who plays the
Christian
Hobgoblin.
Dunst.
No, guy who plays the Hobgoblin.
Oh, you talking about the Green Goblin? Yeah,
it's Green Goblin.
Really, he's coming back.
Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina have both allegedly been seen near the set in which Spider-Man 3 has been shot. Also, rumors from reliable sources says that Charlie Cox also has finished shooting roles for the Spider-Man 3 movie. And of course, Charlie is the fan favorite and Feige favorite to play everyone's favorite lawyer from Hell's Kitchen.
Yep.
He's also the devil of Hell's Kitchen, aka Daredevil. But Kevin, where does Steve Rogers, where does Chris Evans fit into this? And the rumor has it he is going to appear as multiple characters in Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. Now, what possibly could we be talking about when it comes to multiple characters? Because the report from The Hollywood Reporter and Variety last month says that he's coming back to reprise his role as Captain America. Duh, he could be shooting some flashback scenes or something like that, or he could be playing an alternate reality of Captain America. The rumor that I'm hearing is that the alternate reality of Captain America he's going to film is the aforementioned Hydra
Hydra
Cap.
Cat.
He will be playing a multiverse version of Captain America where he is controlled by the cosmic cube and is thought that he's a different Cap.
Yeah.
The other role that Chris Evans is supposedly going to be playing in the multiverse is he is going to reprise his role as
Johnny.
everyone's favorite member of the first family. He is coming back to play Johnny Storm.
That'd be
Again,
awesome.
these are rumors, but it's Chris Evans is not denying that he's back. But even though he did put a post that said news to me, but
Yeah.
there's the multiverse angle for Phase 4 is
Yeah.
crisis level getting out of control, and I love it. And it just shows you how great the storytelling can be with the multiverse. And I can't wait to talk more about WandaVision because oh my
Yeah.
goodness, oh my stars, it's gonna get
Hey.
crazy. But
Yeah,
no,
man.
so
Did you actually you see that that Tom Holland actually he talked about the possible or the rumored castings of Garfield and Maguire. You see that? Where
yeah,
he's
he
like
says,
where
oh no, that's news to me.
no, 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 he's denying it, right? Like, that's pretty important. I don't think they will keep anything from me. I'm like, bro, you freaking spoiled the last like 4 movies of Marvel you were in. What are you talking about, Tom? That's the reason why they gave you like 3 skips of Endgame. No, they gave you 3 skips of Infinity Wars just so you have no clue what you're doing. Come on, Tom. Come on. You have no clue the cast is on your who the rest of your cast on your movie is. Of course, they're not gonna tell you. I love it, bro. I freaking
It
love
also
it.
should be noted too as we quickly approach yet another uh, deadline for Marvel Studios' next cinematic release, and that is Black Widow, which was supposed to come out in May of 2020. Of course, due
Yep.
to the pandemic, it did not. It was then scheduled for October and then for December, and then it was pushed to 2021. It is reported that Kevin Feige is absolutely 100% not on board with a quote hybrid release, much to that of Warner Brothers. And I think the reason being is even though it has been said that Wonder Woman 84 has been a huge success for the subscription service HBO Max. And we do know, having talked to some friends at Disney, that Mulan was still a success on
Yeah.
the Premiere Access. I did wait till it came out on actual Disney Plus. I am a
Yeah.
3-year subscriber to Disney Plus. And now that I think about it, 2020, 21, shoot, I only got 1 year left on my subscription. By the way, I liked it.
Yeah.
Meaning Mulan. Yeah, I probably like the animated version better. I'm not gonna chase that rabbit at all today. But I
I
liked it.
will eventually.
I liked it. I didn't hate it. I didn't
Uh-huh.
think it was perfect. There
Uh-huh.
was a lot to it. I just had fun with it, and I definitely would not have paid $30 for it. Black Widow, on the other hand, yeah, damn right, I'm paying $30 for that. So
Yeah.
Feige, you want my money? Put it on Premier Access because I'll
Yeah.
pay it for it. Because as soon as it's done, I'm still gonna buy it again on
Yeah.
iTunes. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Feige's completely against
Yeah. The
the
whole premiere.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is what it is. I understand, like, because I understand where Feige's coming from, because he's definitely all about the industry. He's definitely all about
Yeah.
taking care of people, and so that's great. AMC has been really been AMC has been really been hit horribly from the pandemic. And the reason why I'm laughing is because AMC now is, when I'm gonna reference the GameStop thing that happened at Wall Street, people have been saying, hey, let's do the same thing to AMC and bring them up too. And so yeah, AMC has definitely been one of the hardest hitting, one of the companies being hit hardest from the pandemic, because yeah, it's watching movies, guys. You could be safer. So
Yeah.
absolutely, I agree with Kevin Feige. I would love to have watched all of the possible movies on a in a much more intimate setting, in my regard, like in front of my own TV, my own access. That'd be great. But I get it. I get where he's coming from.
It should also be noted that they're up against a time crunch on on
Yeah.
Black Widow, because obviously they filmed it almost 2 years ago, if not longer.
Yeah.
And it's also being reported that a major character to be debuted in Black Widow has already filmed scenes or are going to film scenes for the upcoming Hawkeye series, which is coming out later this year. Of
Yeah.
course, as starring Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop. Yelena Belova is scheduled is set to be debuted in Black Widow, and then move to the small screen with Hawkeye. So, that could be shuffled. They could probably shuffle Hawkeye towards the back end of their Disney Plus um, lineup, but they
Yeah.
can't shuffle it too much, because who knows, some of these characters might need to start popping up in
Yeah.
other stories. So, but we'll follow that as it goes along. Obviously, the pandemic has
Man.
really thrown a monkey wrench into things.
I will try to add on certain things. I think the reason why they want to try to move their timetable is because just recently there's been I'm pretty sure you've seen this already or heard about it, where there is a possibility where like our Young Avengers tie-in is actually might be Champions.
Which I'm okay with. Great, it's a great
I,
series right now.
yeah. Like,
There's a little bit of SJW to it, but
yeah, of course it is. Like,
it's not too crazy. They've
yeah,
kind of
it's
fixed it a little
yeah.
bit.
It's gonna be geared towards the younger audience, and younger audience
Oh
is
yeah.
definitely more so into social justice nowadays. And so I understand that's the fact. But then other than that, man, it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see the young kids finally get a go at it. I'm hoping that we get uh, young Cyclops. I'm hoping we get young Jean Grey. I'm hoping we get maybe possibly Viv from
Oh,
WandaVision.
I hope
Maybe
so.
she's gonna be dude. That's me freaking amazing if that does, right?
Well,
If we
here's
get
the thing: is
Viv,
they could easily do. They could. I can't say much, but they could do Viv. They
yeah,
could pull that off.
we'll just say that they can do Viv.
They could
I'm
do
hoping
Viv.
for. I'm hoping they do Amadeus. Like Amadeus Cho's supposed to be in this thing too.
Technically, Amadeus Cho
It's in there already,
is
but
technically
like
canon already. We do know that the character actually does exist within
yeah,
the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was a character that appeared in the Incredible Hulk, which was the Edward
yep,
Norton movie. There's a character, for those of you who are going like, what are you talking about? We never saw
yeah,
Totally Awesome Hulk. He wasn't the Hulk yet. It was a grad student that
yeah,
was at the school, at the university that Edward Norton's Bruce Banner in the
yeah.
Incredible Hulk, the second MCU movie ever. He goes to a college and he bribes his way in with pizza, and he gives a student in the library a pizza, and he kind of he's an Asian character to an
Yeah.
extent, and he kind of, hey, thanks for the pizza, and he is credited as being Amadeus Cho.
He also Amadeus Cho has also been referenced a couple of times throughout the MCU as well. Just want to let
Yeah,
that know,
I think
too.
I think he's also in some of the crossover books.
Yeah, definitely he's in the crossover books, and so
And his
that
sister or his mom, who's the woman
sister,
that's in
sister.
Age of Ultron? It's his sister, right?
No, I think that
Dr. Cho from Age of
yeah,
Ultron. It's either his cousin, his sister, or it's not his mom. It's either his cousin or his sister.
which irritated me because we never see her after that movie.
No, we don't. And she's not killed off. She still exists.
She's like, well, that's another thing with freaking Joss Whedon. He tends to forget characters anyway. But
Well, that was Joss Whedon's last effort, so it could have been a cool cut, because Joss Whedon does enjoy doing those little kind of Easter egg kind of things. I mean, the guy was a comic book writer, and he's created such great characters, obviously, like Angel and Buffy and Firefly and stuff like that. So
I don't know if we want to get into that kind of wormers here yet, but then we'll see where it goes. That you guys, if you guys know anything about Joss Whedon, and the controversy going right now, we might talk about it, we might not, but we try and make it a happy show today.
yeah.
But going back onto the point where Amadeus Cho, I hope so, man. There was a couple of things. I forgot the Detective Randall, I think, in not Detective Randall, but the Asian detective right now that's in.
Agent Wu.
Agent Wu. There you go. I'm thinking Randall because he was also in freaking he was also in Fresh Off the Boat. But
yeah,
he's been saying that he wants to have what's it called, the Asian Avengers. What's it called, man?
Oh my gosh, the Asian Avengers.
Something Atlas. Something
Agents
of Atlas. Agents of Atlas. Yeah.
Agents of Atlas.
They're Asian Avengers because it's all the Asian.
Well, we do know that Echo.
Man.
I believe Echo is a part of.
Atlas. Agents of Atlas.
I think is she a part of Agents of Atlas?
Yeah. No. The new Filipino character. Talking about that?
No, that's
That's someone else. She's also a
That's
nurse.
something else. Yeah. Echo, actually,
It's
Echo is a
hilarious.
Native American. She's a deaf superhero. She's a Native American. Um,
I
and
forgot. Yeah, that's right. You are.
it says here, introduced, I found her on comicbookmovie.com, introduced in the
Mm.
pages of Daredevil. Maya Lopez's father was killed by Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime, manipulated by the villain into targeting the man without fear. After
Mm.
spending years behind, trained as an assassin, Echo has photographic reflexes and not all that different to Taskmasters. One of the only few deaf superheroes, Echoes of Native American descent, and was the first Ronin. The ties that ties her to Clem Barton and the
Oh,
possible
that's
shield,
right.
but no, she is going to be a part of the Hawkeye show. Um,
Wait, if I remember correctly, yeah, yeah. Give me a second. Give me a second. When was she
uh,
made?
what's up?
When was she? When was she created?
Uh,
Oh my god! I totally forgot about it because I was irritated about this. Not because she's she's deaf or anything, but just more so because again we keep on seeing these freaking iterations of characters being spawned off from other. She's basically
Daredevil.
no. She is she's Batgirl. No, my Batgirl,
Oh,
Cassandra Cain, who's deaf, been trained since a child from her amazing parents, from her amazing assassin parents. The her mother being the top assassin in the freaking world, and so I that aside, we'll see how this goes. And of course, I said I gave my rant about Cassandra Cain in the most recent Birds of Prey, where they fucking did her horrible. But yeah, here we go.
well, before we Jr. mentioned, we want to keep it kind of light, and there are times
Mhm.
within pop culture that you can't not talk about certain subjects. The controversy with Joss Whedon
Mm.
is it's a can of worms. It's very sensitive,
Yeah.
and he has had, much like Bryan Singer, much like Zack
I know.
Snyder,
I
much like the that kind of group of young directors and writers that made a burn through Hollywood in the late 90s and early 2000s. Um,
Hold on
and
real quick. Can we really put Zack Snyder in that group
well,
though?
in the controversial fashion of how he treats people, Michael Bay probably belongs to be on that list of,
Sure.
to
He's
put
a
it too bluntly, dickhead directors.
dick. Yeah.
Um, and I was sitting here thinking about this show, and I don't want to chase the Joss Whedon rabbit, but I do want to put this
Yeah.
much: is you look at these guys, they didn't pay a lot of dues. They may say they did, but Joss wrote for DC and Marvel, did
Mhm.
some amazing books,
Mhm.
created Firefly, created
Buffy,
Angel. Well, he didn't create Buffy.
Angel.
He spun off
Oh, yeah.
Buffy.
He's put it off. Yeah.
Actually, no,
He
maybe
made
he
he
did.
made Buffy what it is today.
And
No,
but
no, no. You
either
talking
way,
about
but
yeah.
he made Buffy what it is. He made Angel. He made
Yeah.
Firefly. He did an amazing job on Marvel's Avengers. I think, did a great job on Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
He knows how to write. He knows, maybe he's not the greatest director in the world, but he knows how to
Mhm.
write. He is a
Yeah.
great creator. He's a young, very a brash. I can't think of the word, but he's young, dumb, and stupid. And so was Bryan Singer. So was Michael Bay. Michael Bay, probably of the quote dickhead directors, probably has the most experience. And like I said, Zack Snyder, who has some bad raps as well, and
Yeah.
Bryan Singer doesn't give you the
I
right to treat people the way they do. I don't know if we
yeah.
want to necessarily go down that rabbit hole, but what we will talk about, it's not
Yeah.
happy news, but we can tie in all together the idea of cancel culture.
Uh, I,
And
let me just real quick before you go on, because I know we're going with this one. I just want to just have my quick view on Joss Whedon, in particular. Like there has been a lot of damning, like even though it's anecdotal
yeah,
evidence, it's more so people how people view the certain truth and how like and again, we're looking in the lens of like, okay, today's type of thing, right? This isn't the people who see Joss Whedon for who he was, or for or how they view him now, was seen 20 or so years ago. What I mean by that is that, absolutely, cancel culture fucking sucks, and people's quote unquote frailty now towards some type of adverse reaction is, I don't want to better split this, isn't as lauded as it was back then. Well, actually, if it's the actual fucking problem. But again, the accusations set on him were from people who worked with him for literally 9 years. And granted, of course, Rupert Gint, he has come out as saying, like, he's always been cool with me, but at the same time, he's like, he's gutted that this has happened. How did he not see it? And he's saying that he has put out a statement saying that just because I didn't see it doesn't mean it wasn't there. He just gutted about the situation. And all we can really say now is that, like, yo, like, if we have all these people and these are reputable sources, these are reputable people that, and they're women, they're all women who have a great track record regardless of this, who hasn't been on the quote unquote Me Too wave train of wanting to have that clout type of venue, but then have been kept to themselves. And they said, yeah, he was a fucking asshole. This is how he treated people. And I stand with Ray Fisher, because this all happened because of Ray Fisher, how he got axed from DC. He got axed from Warner Bros. From saying that he's a freaking super toxic developer and director to stand with. And again, I keep on saying, like, dude, if this type of behavior has been set upon you, has been told, that has been called out from you before, and it hasn't changed since now, there's obviously a problem here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's been multiple freaking times in his career that people have checked him on his shit. And if it hasn't changed, like, what can you say? I'm pretty sure, like, that was one of the bigger issues too. If people don't remember, is that was one of the bigger. That was one of the I can't say bigger, but issues too regarding Ultron. When he was an Ultron, there were some rumblings about him saying that, yeah, there were some fallouts with some of the actors. And like, I gotta go with the victims on this. I'm like, yo, if this is what they really happened, and there's multiple people that have said about this shit, and it is not as heinous. I don't know if it's as heinous as sexual assault, which would be fucking horrendous if it was, but it's definitely to the fact where if he constantly is perpetuating toxic work environment throughout the ages up to now, with Ray Fisher, who has been axed and blacklisted from Hollywood just for saying that, hey, he's a freaking dick director. Like, you
And you
have
know
to kind
what?
of play it out.
I don't. The problem is that it's one thing
Mm-hmm.
to be and speak your mind,
Yeah.
and come out and say, no, this guy was wrong. I don't think Ray Fisher is going to be blacklisted forever. Uh,
No, absolutely not.
and I use the term loosely. I understand where the phrase blacklisted came from, and I
Yeah,
understand that Ray Fisher, obviously being African American, it comes
absolutely.
across
Yeah.
as insensitive. But I'm using the generic term of being outcast from Hollywood, and being,
Yeah.
you look, there are plenty of actors and actresses that spoke out against directors. Megan Fox served their time in the penalty box and came back. Did Megan Fox win an Academy Award? No. But she came back. She was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I may not have liked it, but it did well. She played April O'Neil, and it did okay. She got herself back in a big blockbuster movie, and she did all right. She got a payday. She came back. Again, she's not winning Academy Awards. She's not seen on marquees every single weekend,
Mm-hmm.
but she came back. Ray Fisher will. I'm
I
not saying this
I
to be a bitter Betty.
Yeah.
I really didn't think he was that good of an actor. On the flip side,
Uh,
to be honest, he
I,
fit the role.
yeah.
He fit that role of playing. I can't think of
The
the character's
guy,
name. I
cyborg,
can just
cyborg.
think of
Yeah.
Cyborg,
Yeah.
because my kids love um, Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he was that good of an actor.
Right.
But I still think that he's good enough that he will get a second look down the road.
Yeah.
I look at, and for those who go like, oh, it's different. Megan Fox is an attractive white woman, and Ray Fisher is a black man. John Boyega. John Boyega will get work to the day he dies, and no person on planet Earth has been more vocal about the quote unquote handling of minority actors on big blockbuster movies than John Boyega. And John Boyega has been, I mean, you talk about speaking his mind. He took on the House of Mouse. He took on Disney. This is not Warner Brothers. This is motherfucking Disney. And they stand by their man. John Boyega will get cast. I think that the way Ray Fisher handled certain things about it, I don't care. John Whedon could very well be the world's biggest asshole. He probably is, and I probably agree with you. Because if there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, look at what's her name? Scarlett Johansson had an issue with him on the set of Age of Ultron. So yeah, if there's smoke, there's fire. But Ray Fisher's going to get work. He's going to make a comeback. I think that there were times where he was. Yeah. It was one of those deals like he didn't collect his thoughts. He didn't come with evidence. And yeah, he yelled loud enough. They said, "Just go to your room. Just go." I mean, I'll take an example. My wife and I, as parents, we do. I'm so tired of listening to my kids scream about he started it, and he just both of you go to your room. Just go away. You're gone. And then my wife and I will collect our thoughts. Go, wait a minute. They weren't wrong. They have a point. And I think Warner Brothers, Hollywood will do that and go like, Ray Fisher wasn't wrong. He just was being, on our vantage point, petulant at the time, because he got his feelings hurt because, whatever. I think he will. I think he will come back. I don't think. Let's put it this way: his days as Cyborg, if they decide to continue to go down that road, are not done.
Yeah,
he will come.
Like, that's the topic that you're kind of leaning towards. That's the whole different fucking kind of words too. Be like, if you want to just make some like a not a long reference to back to what's her name again? I just literally just blanked on her name. You just said her name. She was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Megan Fox, right? She has come out. She's right. Post-ups were saying that that freaking one Bay was a fucking asshole because he wanted a 16-year-old to be nearly butt ass naked in scenes. She said like, yeah, and this has affected me through when I was younger and just being insecure about my body. And she never took that back. And she's been pigeonholed in that same less sexualized teens type of things when she was literally 16, 17, 18 years old. And she didn't get that power back until she was well into her 20s and having kids and all that stuff. And just seeing that, yeah, maybe you'll get a nod back from freaking by Michael Bay by giving you the starring female role in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film.
I forgot that was his movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's his movie again. Like,
I never thought about that. I completely forgot about that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's the same perpetual type thing. Like, she's going back. The only way she can get fucking work is back with the fucking guy who treated her horrible. That's some abuse type of shit, bro.
But at the same time,
but here's the thing, and also
Michael Bay, he's also really reeled it in. He's changed.
I mean, sure, okay, cool. He has changed because all this shit's been called out on him. Of course, it's changed. Me Too movement called out all this shit, and that's the good thing about the Me Too movement. When all this stuff happened, when we go back to Ray Fisher, we can talk about his acting role. We can talk about it, but it still doesn't negate the fact that the handling of black minorities, the handling of black people, black actors specifically, and getting trying to get a role here or there is so fucking minuscule. Of course, it's changed now in the last 2 years out of fucking 100 years of cinema, but it doesn't mean that it's still not happening today. And if he tries to get quote unquote roles, right, will it be the horrible fucking cyborg character where he only has like maybe 10-15 minutes of fucking screen time because it's a stupid ass Joss Whedon movie who's trying to fucking trip the tone? And don't get me fucking started on Snyder and him trying to make a 4-hour movie of okay, not Zack Snyder's in this conversation, but yeah, just the things that are happening specifically to women and to the minorities in television and film is fucking horrid. We'll just say that. I'll just say that. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'll just say that. And yes, there has been changes that have been coming slightly and more recently. It's just that like it's I can't put a blanket statement by saying, "Well, you get roles again." Like, yeah, okay, but they'll still fucking treat me like crap because I'm a freaking black guy. Because I'm a person of color, and just because you don't see that shit happening to me, it doesn't mean it doesn't fucking happen. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get at. Like, yo, yeah, he'll get films, man. But like, I'm looking at John Boyega's film stuff, man. Like his things that he's gonna do currently. He only got 3 things on his docket. And granted, some of his stuff now are gonna get cut. They're mostly, sad to say, black films. Like that's I'm not saying that black films don't do well. I'm just saying now he's being pigeonholed to being the black actor rather than being an actor. And that's my point. Like, okay, yeah, he'll get films and everything but he's gonna John Boyega's gonna be in a movie called They Clone Tyrone. Oh, okay. They clone Tyrone. How was that not fucking offensive, bro? Come on,
he doesn't
man.
have to take the role.
He doesn't have to take the role, but at the same time, he needs to make money.
I understand, but if that's the thing, that's the problem in Hollywood. That is the problem in Hollywood. I have to work. Okay.
Yeah, you have.
I have told, as a parent, I have told my kids, you got to work, but not at the sacrifice of your dignity. The problem that I had with, and I know this is going to be controversial, what I'm going to say, but I'm going to start off by saying, oh God, what the hell is that guy's name now? Weinstein.
Yeah.
First off, what I'm going to preface this by saying, Weinstein, what he did, deplorable, absolutely deplorable. Second of all, you'd be naive to say that hasn't been going on for years. It was a joke. The idea of the quote casting couch has been a joke for years. It doesn't make it right. Okay. And I had a family member approach me about getting my daughter into acting or modeling. And I said, absolutely not. And, my daughter was born prior to the Me Too movement, but having seen the stories that have come out from it, why on God's green earth would I put my poor innocent child in that? Absolutely not. So I preface this by saying, I do not by any means say shame on the victims. This is not me saying that, but me saying to anybody that gets put into a precarious situation like that, if that's the way you have to make a living, then it shouldn't be the way you have to make a living. If I went to work tomorrow and my boss, male or female, said that I had to sleep with them to keep my job, I quit. Bye. I would never. And so I'm not victim shaming at all. It's horrible. And it sucks because Harvey Weinstein, as a producer, was a freaking genius. But there's no adjective out there that can truly sum up his assholeness in a proper bundle. So, Ray, if you have a problem, walk away, bro. John Boyega, if you feel like, oh God, can you get me something else? I was in Star Wars, motherfucker. If you get, what would you say was to clone Tyrone? Unless it must have been a hell of a sales pitch, or that was one of those, the old saying, one for me, one for you in Hollywood. that must have been one hell of a one for you then. So
I know for a fact this isn't a Hollywood podcast or anything, but like this is also like there's been constantly this undertaking in Hollywood where there's subdivisions within Hollywood. It's just only recently been called out where everything's been brought to light. Black actors specifically has been predominantly been put in these excessively black roles: the gangster, the hoodlum, the token black friend
the
who
token black
says,
guy.
yeah, all
That's
that
the
stuff, right?
joke.
That's been said, and nearly every black actor, or if not all black actors, specifically those of like really high legacies, right, have been seen performing gay sex scenes or in some type of gay relationships. That's not to say there's nothing wrong with that, but it's kind of freaking weird where every freaking single one of them that had some type of esteem has been in doing that. And again, this also proceeds to the fact that you have old white dudes who have probably been closeted gay people wanting to traverse out their sexual fantasies to actors who should just be fucking acting. That's one thing that's been said multiple times throughout the history of Hollywood that's been told in the last throughout not history but like throughout the underbelly of Hollywood that's been happening. And of course this probably quantifies a lot more of the fact when you have women involved in it too,
Yeah.
being in that same position, be preyed upon. And to say, I gotta rebuff you. I gotta kind of bounce. I gotta try to not rebuff you, but like just kind of hit back on that. Your options. Like, well, you can say no to a film, but at the same time, when a good portion of your life has been dedicated to film and acting, and wanting to be a film and actor, you should do film and acting. For me, it's like saying the comparison you try or the example you try to make is like, okay, I could too say that, okay, well, if you're in the military, just expect to get shot, so you shouldn't go to the military. Like if that is a prerequisite, like you're probably gonna get shot if you go to war. Is anyone gonna go? But like, and of course people are gonna go because one, they love serving their country. And the same reason falls in mind, like, well, people want to be an actor or actress because they love acting. And I feel so wholeheartedly about the fact that if all the actors and actresses didn't had the dignity or the foresight or just wanting to say, no, I'm not going to take that role, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna I'm not going to have sex with you for a role, and they all leave, I feel like it would just be basically be porn in movies. That's it. Like everyone's a porn star now. That would basically be it. That's what I would feel like. And we wouldn't have this resurgence of the fact that of calling all this crap out.
Yeah.
It's great that we're having this stuff that we're getting that everybody's trying to call this crap out because it's been decaying Hollywood for a very freaking long time. Yes, there's gonna be amazing geniuses behind the film, behind the film industries. There are gonna be great minds doing that. That doesn't disregard the fact they're probably sexual predators.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like, I forgot his name. There was a certain film I forgot. It wasn't Scorsese, of course, not Scorsese. Actually, yeah, let's even bring Scorsese in this, man. Just the amount of hate and the amount of like small his depiction of black people in some of the Godfather films has been called into question many, many freaking times. That doesn't negate the fact that he's an amazing director, a legendary director. And that the grittiness of his films and the realistic views of his films should be put on display because of that. But like, yeah, when you y'all too flamboyant with the N-word. Y'all way too flamboyant with the N-word, and y'all way too flamboyant with certain other terminologies I've used throughout the films. We can look at that now. That doesn't disregard the fact that I fucking view Godfather 1 and 2 as masterpieces in the film. I'm just saying now we have the history of it now.
Yeah.
That's to say also with that I want that back into my point of like we just see that as yes, actors and actresses should be able to do films whatever the hell they want without any type of what's the word I'm looking for, without any type of not retribution but we have in here in California when you try to speak up from your boss and the retaliation,
Yeah,
there shouldn't
retaliation.
be any form of retaliation set upon
No,
you when you say something, when
agreed.
you try to dog whistle. That's the same thing with that's what Sarah Michelle Gellar and that's what
Whistleblower.
everybody said. Like I know, like yeah, they say I know that I'm probably gonna be quote unquote blacklisted, but I don't like being in society where I either have to think about eating or my truth where this has happened to me. That's a shitty freaking output. Do you worry about your paycheck or do you worry about your dignity?
Agreed. And I
So
think that
like,
you should never trade a paycheck for your dignity for a paycheck.
mm-hmm,
My my problem, and maybe it's okay. Well, you're gonna have to find another. It's such a conundrum because I have such
it
a
it's a mess. Yeah, it's an absolute fucking
philosophical
mess.
conundrum on this.
Hmm.
Joss Whedon's not an asshole. He's a nice, normal guy. Gee golly shucks, guys. I wish blah, blah, and is a perfectly fine gentleman and upstanding citizen.
Hmm.
Does Buffy and Angel come out the way it is? Was him being a dick? Again, doesn't make it right. You should
Uh,
be able to create and not be an asshole,
mm-hmm.
but does him being an asshole bring that productiveness out of his actors? We'll never know. It, again, doesn't make it right, but it is that philosophical conundrum that you're in, that you look back and said, okay, he's a normal guy, he's not a dick,
Mm-hmm.
he treats his people like human beings. I mean, I've heard Steven Spielberg's a hard ass. I've heard that
Yeah.
the mighty Martin Scorsese was a hard ass. Um, oh my gosh, Stanley Kubrick was a lunatic. Stanley,
Fucking insane, man. Yeah.
who was it that did
What?
Apocalypse Now?
Stanley
Um,
Kubrick.
was that Stanley
Stanley.
Kubrick?
It was Kubrick.
I mean, drove Martin Sheen mad. I mean, to the
He
point
freaking.
that he punched a mirror and almost shredded his hand. I mean,
Yeah.
he drove him mad on set. Had he not, would you have gotten the performance that you did? There is a fine
But
line.
yeah, that's okay. Then that is a different scenario. Are we talking about okay, what it adds to the film or to the context of whatever you're trying to create? Sure,
Yeah,
but from what I'm seeing though, and sadly, what's not being said is what the hell does the Joss Whedon situation actually entail? Did he do all this stuff for film and for framing, or did he do all this stuff out of frame? Because the stuff he said about Michelle Trachtenberger, about her not no no about her about Charisma Carpenter when she was
asking
16,
about
by saying that no, it's saying shit like so he's saying shit like she has come out and said like yeah, he's talking about I was fat. He would always dismiss me in front of my colleagues. He always said certain things about this or that. He when she was pregnant and about to
are you
have a
going to keep
child,
it?
are you gonna keep it, or even that, or like when she finally did give birth to her child, he fired her from the fourth season of he fired the beginning of Angel, and she wasn't able to get work and all this other stuff. Like okay,
Which is
then like if I it's one thing to add the method acting to your actor on screen. I
yeah.
get that. But from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing, is that all this extracurricular activity was outside, not in out out of camera.
Yeah.
And so, like, okay, then where is this line now? Granted, I would love to see a more um detailed stance on this, because what the hell does this mean? Because
Yeah.
I definitely understand wanting the best out of your actor. I get that. Understand that. You want to make the best you want to make the best experience possible for the viewer. I get that. Absolutely. That's what you do with trained actors. But calling a 16-year-old girl fat who
it,
is 120 pounds, 126 pounds at the time, calling her fat, calling things out, and then in a subconscious way, not in a kind of a roundabout way, trying to sexualize a 16-year-old girl on a TV show. That's another thing. So
and it goes to it, again, it doesn't make it right, but it was the time too, and it was
mhm,
normal. Was Does it make it right? No. Was
yeah,
Joss Whedon trying to sleep with Michelle Trachtenberg? Probably not, but he knew that I have a age range of
mhm,
12-year-old boys to 40-year-old men
mhm,
and women sprinkled in there in the middle that watch this show.
mhm.
And it was all about marketing. It
Yep.
doesn't make it right,
Yeah.
but at the time, it was, hey,
I
ratings.
mean,
Ratings
I
equals advertising. Advertising means bigger budget. Bigger budget means I get paid more. And at the time, they gave up their dignity for a little extra cash. Michelle Trachtenberg did Buffy, and then what? 3 years later, she's in Eurotrip, flashing guys on the side of the road.
she
She
wasn't
didn't
funny.
have to take the role,
It wasn't it, that's a
but
whole different
I know.
yeah. I know.
Um, it, it was the time. And there's a
Mhm.
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard things about it, but it's an interesting documentary that that I can recommend based on friends' recommendation. Is the Britney Spears documentary that's on, I believe it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I could still recommend it. That it does talk just about that she was thrust into this limelight and she was sexualized from day one. I remember I did the math on it, and I didn't realize that Britney is about the same age as me. I'll be 40 years old this year. And in
Mm.
1998, 1999, when Britney's first album came out, she was
She was
much like me, 17,
16,
16 years old.
17. Yeah.
And, she was, I mean, there's a famous Rolling Stone magazine cover that she did in basically her bra and panties, and she was 17 years old, probably 16 when they shot
Mhm.
it. And it was just kind of, you're a beautiful girl, this is what sells, put it on.
Mhm.
you know there were probably some deviants that got their jollies off on it, but there were some people that
Mhm.
just went, hey, I want to sell 1 million magazines, put it on. you
Mhm.
know but we didn't want to chase the rabbit, we chased the rabbit.
Yeah.
Let's get into more bad news, and we won't try not to talk, because there's some good news on the back end of this podcast, and we'll get to our
Yeah.
flex pool as well. Gina Carano obviously was fired this past week from The
Yep.
Mandalorian, after making another round of egregious social media posts. It's no secret that Gina Carano was for lack of a better term, a Republican. Um,
Conservative, yeah.
she was. The problem is that you lump, by saying Republican or conservative, is you lump someone who thinks the way she does with people like me.
Yeah.
I'm going to out myself. I am a registered Republican. I have been a
Mhm.
fiscal conservative my entire life.
Mhm.
I do have a lot of moderate to maybe slight left views on things. I'm an open-minded, understanding person. I do not believe in the, how do you say it? Quonon, the
QAnon
QAnon.
bullcrap.
That bullshit is bullshit. I do not
Yeah.
believe. Let me run it down for you, people. I do not believe that the school shootings that have taken place over the last decade were staged, or as they called them, false flags. Okay. I do
So
not
fucking dumb.
believe that 9/11 was orchestrated by the United States government. I'm sorry, there are 3,000 people that lost their lives on that day, and one of them was very close to being a family member of mine. And if it wasn't for I believe, an act of God, they would have probably been on one of those planes. So I'm sorry, the Kanan or whatever, you're wrong. There
Yeah.
is, now, having seen shows like House of Cards, and having former President William Jefferson Clinton state on the record, hey, is that show true? And he goes, yeah, everything about it is true, except for the part where they get a education budget passed through in less than a day. I wholeheartedly believe that there is a lot of deviant behavior, a lot of
Absolutely.
murder and uh,
Cover-ups and shit. Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's there's a lot, and I think that there is, for a lack of better term, some quote conspiracy theories that belong in there. I believe that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, but there could have been something that twisted his arm. But to get back to Gina, she does. She could have used some better words to make her point, but she doesn't help her cause that she believes in these conspiracy theories, and she was doing quite a bit better to separate herself from those, to help her cause better, and that's probably what got her the role in the new spin-off Mandalorian spin-off series that's going to come out either next year or the year after, and that is Rangers of New Republic. It has been said that Rangers of the New Republic is still going to happen, and that it was not necessarily Gina's show. Gina Carano was going to be a part of it. Cara Dune was going to be a part of it because she is a quote marshal. She is a ranger. She is a ranger of the New Republic. However, she actually was going to get her very own. She's the marquee character. She was going to get her own show. That was in November. That's why we did not see the Cara Dune spinoff announced during that huge blockbuster Disney board meeting that was in December a couple months ago. Because
investor meeting.
Yeah, we can't the investor meeting. We can't bank a show on her right now. We need to see if we can reel her in.
Yeah.
We do know what she said that kind of pushed her over the edge and out the door. I challenge people from here on out. I understand, I'm a firm believer. I'm a huge history fan. We learn history because if we don't, we're doomed to repeat it. Calling people Hitler does no good. I'm sorry. The man was evil. Making any comparisons to him is wrong. And making light of him, bringing him back up in any kind of comparison is shining light on what he did as an awful human being. In the same case, I'm sorry, what happened to millions and millions of people in the concentration camps and during one of the darkest periods of the human race in the Holocaust? There is no comparison. I'm sorry. Yes, I agree that Republicans and fiscal conservatives have been, and again, this is not a political show, have been, most have been unjustly characterized and shamed and shunned and, for lack of a better term, blacklisted. She could have worded her phrases, her comparisons a little better. Making any comparison to the Holocaust is wrong. Sorry. End of subject. Period. There's no. So I challenge people going forward when like, oh my gosh, that guy is just as evil as Hitler. No, sorry, he's not. Sorry. The man tried to wipe an entire race off the face of the earth. You don't get any more evil than that.
And started a fucking war too, but yeah, I guess. And killed fucking millions of Russian people and everything else. But yeah,
I will say this: I got and I will completely throw myself under the bus on this. I did write it was a team research paper I wrote in high school, and because I graduated in 1999, being in my opinion the last year of the decade or the millennium and whatever, the century, we had to write a paper on the most influential person of the 20th century. Meaning from 1990 or from 1900 to 1999. And there were 4 of us on this project, and we presented that Adolf Hitler was the most influential person of the 20th century.
Look at you, you edgy bastard. Look at you.
The way we prefaced it by saying he was an evil human being. We talked about, from a geopolitical standpoint, how he resurrected the nation of Germany coming out of World War I, but then he lost his fucking mind. We didn't say that, but we alluded to it
Mhm.
because it was a Christian school. So I will throw myself on the bus that yes, I did a research paper on him, and
Yeah, it's good.
I
That's
don't
fine.
I
That's
don't
great.
think it was meant to be bringing light to him. I think it was to
No.
show, look, the guy was influential. He was a flaming asshole.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. Gina, oh God, Gina, you were this close to getting a second chance.
Yeah, you are.
In the famous
Eh,
words of Billy Madison, you blew it.
yeah.
So
Let me
the floor is yours, sir.
you know and for those who have seen me talk about Gina Carano knows I have glowing fucking I do nothing but fucking gush about her. I love Gina Carano. I've been rocking
WCW,
with her.
Woman Crush Wednesday, man.
Oh my god, I've been rocking with her since she was in freaking Strike Force. Come on, guys. Or not Strike Force, but uh, the other company where she did MMA
MMA.
fights. Yeah, but I've been rocking her for a very long time. Even her first solo movie, I think it was like Caution or Hazard or something like that. When she after MMA career, she had a solo movie, right? And that of course did horribly because who's gonna watch a freaking MMA fighter back in 2007 or something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, so like I love her. I
Mm-hmm.
still have love for this girl, but when you're trying to equate the people who has political views that are different from me, I will say it right now, I'm a progressive moderate. Right, that leans more to the left than anything else. But I'm progressive, absolutely. I believe in fucking minimum wage going higher. I do believe in that we should put education first and all that shit. Right? Yeah. But when you when you try to equate that people who voted for Trump specifically as those of the Jewish people during the reign of the Third Reich is obscenely not offensive, just obscenely stupid. Considering the fact that that side, the people who voted for Trump and of course Trump himself has ruled the last 4 years. Again, I don't again because my co-host here said it very eloquently. Let's not compare, but like you should know where they fall in this conversation if you bring it up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You should know where they fall in this conversation when they bring it up. They're not the ones that are being persecuted. They're not the ones being rounded up and put in cages. Sadly, we were the ones that were rounding people up and putting them in cages just in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. Uh, Regardless of that, here's my hot take. I believe she shouldn't have been fired.
Shouldn't or
Why?
should have?
Shouldn't have.
Okay.
Here's the reason why. Or canceled, right? Here's the reason why. Because this whole venue now of cancel culture that has been cropping up in our fucking social media history now for the last couple of years has been so rambunctious and so more about clout. It's more about these dealings of wanting to have some type of social justice on social fucking media that it does nothing to add to the fucking conversation. Yes, you took out Gina Carano. Cool. What now? Oh, you know what now she did? She's actually doing a fucking spin-off show
Ben Shapiro.
what's with Ben Shapiro. You push her more into the right now. Good fucking job.
You've made her a martyr.
You made her. You vindicated. Like here's the thing. Here's the thing about it, right? You are free to have your stupid ass fucking opinion. You are free to have it.
We
And
have that freedom.
it's also, but you're also then adding. You're also then taking on the consequences of having that stupid ass opinion, right? That's my thing. If you have a dumbass opinion, you should be able to be called out on it, and also then led to a possible understanding where you mesh in between. Why do you have your stupid ass opinion? Well, here's why. My people, my loved ones, they went through this thing. They literally went through this thing or whatever, right? That's how it goes. When she had a conversation with Pedro Pascal, when she on her Twitter page before put up beep boop bop as like pronoun stuff, right? When people in Twitter they use that as like he, she, he, no, he, their pronouns on it, right?
Yeah.
And on her, she did, beep boop bop, which was seen as highly offensive. Well, Pedro Pascal has a transgender sister and educated her on saying, hey, no, that's kind of offensive. You understand why you did that. You did that to poke fun of people. because conservative media, all that conservative people, they don't they for for lack of a better sentence, they don't see transgender people. They don't see transgender people as transgender people. They see them as their actual, just their own sex, their sex
They're
they were born with. They're
biological.
yeah. I Hey, that's your opinion. That's your opinion, man. But at the same time, people are trying to live their lives as well. And Pedro Pascal talked to her, saying, "Well, no, that's offensive. My sister has gone through all this shit just to be who she wants to be."
Yeah.
She then said, "Okay, I was educated. I understand that. I take that down." Now she will never have that fucking conversation anymore of why she has a dumbass opinion about trying to equate Trump people with Nazi, or with not Nazis, but with the Jewish people under Nazi rule.
And it's really unfortunate because we have become this cancel culture, this culture of I hate you, you hate me. I get along with anybody. um I was told, again, I mentioned before, I went to a Christian school. And we'll get to the happier notes here in a second, but I'll just tell this story. um
Yeah.
i was I was ridiculed going to this Christian school for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was never the most popular kid in the world, but I had growing up in public school for, God, 7 years, kindergarten through fifth, sixth, seventh grade, about fifth or sixth grade. I had a lot of friends that went to, quote, public school or secular school, as they would call it. And I had a lot of secular friends, people that did not go to church, people that did not go to my school. And I was looked down upon because people go like, "Hey, Kevin, where are you going? You're going to go to the game this Friday night? Hey, you're going to go hang out? We're going to go to Awana's club this Tuesday. Hey, are you going to go? We got youth group on Wednesday night or Thursday night." And I did all those things. I did Awana's. I did youth group and stuff like that. But I'm like, no, I'm going to go hang out with my buddy that goes to La Quinta Middle. Um, you know, Hey, I'm going to go watch him play baseball. Oh, hey, my friend that I grew up with since like third grade, they lived around the corner from me. We're gonna go play some freaking Mega Man on Super Nintendo. I would just go do that. Like, oh, and it was always like at the time, he's like, oh, you hang out with secular kids,
Oh, that's a weird type of
and it was,
discrimination.
yeah, it was, and I'm like, and I remember going like,
It's
I
odd.
didn't get it. Like, I just was like, why is it that big a deal? Yeah, and looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that was like
Mm-hmm.
secularizing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just looking back, I'm like, really? What the freak was wrong with that? I mean, people, and eventually people
Yeah.
grew out of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Of course.
it was, I've been, I know what Gina is going through. I know what Gina means. I have a handful of friends who are liberal, some moderate, some lean slightly to the right, some lean slightly to the left, some are way off the deep end and are extremely to the left, some are extremely to the right. I've called them out on their bullshit, especially more so on the right, especially when it comes to racial terms. I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't need you in my life if you're going to use those kind of
Yeah.
words.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, I get what Gina meant.
Yeah.
She did not handle it correctly,
Yeah.
because there are people, you say those words. It used to be you didn't talk about politics and religion. That was rule number one. And Chick has that rule at the asylum.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were talking about the other day, um and we'll sit there and talk about Faithless and the not safe for work covers that
Comics. Yeah.
comic books. We'll talk about those. We'll talk about boobs. We'll talk about, and by
Yeah.
you, this is coming from the female owner of the store.
Yeah.
Okay, I would rather talk about that than religion and politics. So,
Yeah.
but if it does get out that, I've had people that I've known at the comic book store for 5 years, 4 or 5 years, and that found out that I had the political affiliation that I had. They won't talk to me anymore. So Gina, I get it. You said it wrong, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah. Like here, yeah. If I could try to continue, like here's the thing.
no, I'm sorry,
Go.
real quick. Sorry, I was sorry.
Yeah.
What I meant to say was to piggyback on Pedro Pascal is, where's the cast on this? You're right. Pedro called her out on her bullshit, and she check swinged on her thoughts and said, I'm wrong, and corrected herself. Everyone has always had glowing things to say about Gina working
Mhm.
with her on the 2 seasons of
Yeah.
The Mandalorian. Ryan Reynolds has come out and said loved working with her on Deadpool.
Yeah.
Where's the cast on this? Again, it doesn't justify what she
Yeah.
said, but it goes with what JR is probably going to say is maybe you don't cancel her. Sorry, JR.
Yeah, no, the one that I remember, yeah, I heard that conversation, or I heard that question by people saying, "Well, what did the cat say about it?" Well, here's the thing: they technically don't need to, because one, it has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with the Mandalorian or anything or any of that people that. Yeah, they can talk about how they dealt with her and how they talk. And here's the thing: I feel social media today has just put in everybody's fucking heads. They, it is definitely, social media is definitely an echo chamber,
Yeah.
definitely an echo chamber. At the same time, you make known your most private thoughts out to the world, and you just constantly say it, and you believe that shit. You believe that shit constantly. But when you are smack dab with a person in real life, you are, I don't know, a human being and civil. So when people say, when people have said like, well, what was Pedro Pascal? What about Ming Na Wen? What about, all the other actors? What about, the directors? What they say about this? They've heard nothing but glowing things to say about it, because she carries herself like a decent human being on set.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, professionalism still goes a long way here. And here's my reasoning why we should not cancel her. It's I had a conversation about this with my sister the other day about, like, about Gina Carano's thoughts. Like, what do you feel? And she goes, and my sister goes, yeah, they should cancel her. Like, why? Well, because she said some dumbass shit. Yeah, she did. But does that then justify the need to cancel, to then stop her from making money? Like, okay, then say I told her to, all right, cool, you're a nurse. Say you say some wildin' shit, wildin', crazy ass shit, just some crazy, crazy stuff. Hitler wasn't wrong. Just say that. Just like some stuff like that, right? Does that still negate you from being a nurse, from doing your job? Does you saying some dumb ass wildin' stuff negate the fact that you went to school for, that you went to, that you did training for so many years, right? To go to be at the standard where you are now. And when you say some dumbass stuff and the heat of the moment, specifically in a pandemic where you got nothing but closeted thoughts, being pioneered by a dumbass president. Okay, yeah, now you know how I feel about the president back then. Cool, whatever. By a dumbass president that just does nothing but social media shit, right? In the heat of the moment, you say some crazy violent shit. Period. Granted, she's been constantly, we've had a history of her saying crazy violent shit, but at the same time, we've been in this pandemic for about a whole year now, so people are gonna say some crazy violent shit. It still does not negate the fact that she should still be an actress, be an actor, and be paid. I
You want to know
this just
someone
like
who's saying some wild ass shit and has
what?
continued to get a job? Matter of fact, he continued to have a job imitating the former president of the United States,
Oh, you're talking about freaking
Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin has said some of the man called his daughter a fucking pig, and he's still getting work. I don't agree with his political stance, but the guy's an amazing actor.
hmm?
He's a jackhole. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
It's my money to spend on his movie. I think he's fantastic. One of my all-time favorite movies
Yeah.
is The Departed. Again, Martin Scorsese.
Departed.
A little bit of again goes back to what JR said, maybe a little bit liberal use in some parts of the movie of racial overturns,
Oh, come on now. Yeah.
but I think that for the sake of the movie, I think that um, especially in that particular case, Mark Wahlberg
Yeah.
and Martin Scorsese probably get a pass to an
Yeah.
extent. I'm sure Mark Wahlberg had to go say some Hail Marys and Our Fathers to whoever
Yeah.
he needed to, um, and whatnot. I mean, I have a great relationship with, and I know this is not going to sound like, oh, here's a token white guy saying he has a token black friend. one of my really closest friends is a black guy, and his name is, I'm not going to say his full name, but his name is Nick. I've known the man for over 10 years, and I trust him. I trust him in my home. I trust him with my family because he knows that I would go to bat for his family and I would take a bullet for his family. And I know he'd take a bullet for mine.
Mm.
And unfortunately in this pandemic, we haven't been able to hang out as much. And his life has, a little bit, he spends more work at night. I work during the day. So we don't get to hang out as much, but we have a relationship. And both of us have said some things that would be like, oh, but it's an understanding. So
Yeah.
to go back to the Martin Scorsese thing, the man might have a pass.
Yeah.
But going to Alec Baldwin has said some wild ass shit and has made a career. Again, he did not compare himself to the death of almost an entire race of people.
Yeah.
And again, I
Like,
go back to what I texted you. I told you
yeah.
in our text message when we talked about it was,
Yeah.
Jerry's like, oh, she shouldn't have been canceled. I'm like, but dude, she stepped in it. She stepped in it.
Yeah, I understand where they come from. She has a history of this. I understand that this is a history of things, but she has some crazy shit. But like again, the can't like I'm just against cancel culture. I understand when it's used properly, when it's used on in the preface of like, freaking Weinstein, and a bunch of other crazy ass shit. Yeah, horrible. But at the same time, the inverse is that people who catapult themselves and use the current the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement as a platform to fucking better to line their pockets, aka Amber fucking Heard. Is like, come on,
I have no idea.
I don't fucking talk about fucking Amber Heard right now. There was some rumors saying that she was gonna get replaced, but whatever. But like, just to go back on the thing, like the reason why I feel like and this isn't just with Gina Carano. This is with everybody in your freaking life that you care about. Like, okay, there's some people, yes, you got to cut off. That's it. They're just going to be stuck in their ways. I'm set in their ways. I get that. But like when you have somebody that has a chance or a possibility, like to have some rationale to be in the middle of this, granted, yeah, she said some stuff like, oh, okay, cool. Freaking there's the wearing a mask. There's the mask hoax, the coronavirus. No, I can't. I don't know her full thoughts of the corona of COVID right now, but the shutdown and all these things that she said in the past and it was tweeted about in the past, I get it. There's a lot of rhetoric that's been used constantly in the far alt-right movement, has been said. Again, guys, we're in a freaking pandemic. We're doing nothing but standing in our homes and listening and looking at social media. Wear damn freaking masks. Yes, I'm definitely against her on that stance of her not wearing a mask. I've lost people to COVID just in the last couple of months. Yes, I fucking hope she wears a mask or tries to understand that. But again, this shit probably hasn't happened to her.
Yeah.
But that does not disregard, that should not disqualify her from working. That does not disqualify her from getting from having people in her life to tell her, hey, you fucked up. Here's how you fucked up. Here's how you get better. And this is my biggest freaking my biggest beef with the cancel culture. You want to cancel people just for fucking clout. That's it. You want to cancel them for clout.
Bingo.
Okay, what happens afterwards? What happens to their lives afterwards? What are you gonna do? You shame them to death until they fucking kill themselves? There was one perfect fucking example was that there was a sex worker, who has done porn. She had I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with this. She had a Twitter follower. She had a Twitter account, and she has made known that one of the people that she's worked with, right, has done a gay scene before, has done a gay scene before, doing a scene with her. And she let out loud, like, hey, I'm not gonna do a gay scene with a guy with somebody who just constantly did a gay scene and didn't get tested or whatever, right? I'm not gonna do that. And people freaking canceled her. Oh, you're homophobic. You did this. You did that. Wait, don't let me finish.
But the whole
wait, let me finish. You're homophobic. You did this. You did that. And she's like, no, I just want to know what I'm putting in my body. I want to know my safety and all that stuff. And they cancel her and harass her so fucking much she took her own life.
Actually, who was it?
I forgot who, man, but that was like a couple years ago already, man. Like, this is the horrendous shit about cancel culture. It's just basically fucking bullying. That's all. It's just bullying.
It is.
It's
It is.
it's people who have been bullied in their past, in their lives, or people who are still bullying in their lives, and they're looking at more ways to then vent their anger out. I get it. There's some people who quote unquote deserve it. I understand that. But there is no in between. There's no gray area. There's no reason why this person should get canceled, and what the proper steps then to take to grow as a person, man. Because like I said before on this freaking podcast, there's a pretty big fucking possibility that we today, us as a people, will get canceled in 50 years from now. We have no clue what the future holds. We're canceling people from like 50 years ago because of their views and what their social norms were that day.
Yeah.
Who knows what, like legit, bro, like we could be out in, let's say the Space Force happens, right? And we're colonizing, or we're out in Venus somewhere, or we're out in some other galaxy, and they're gonna say some shit like, oh man, I can't believe Earth used plastic. Oh my gosh, how horrible. You know that, or they had synthetic clothes, and the clothes, dispersed the sun because that's what their technology figured out in 50 years or 100 years. We have no clue. So like, if you call on being canceling somebody for their past mistakes or past history, you are then calling upon yourself to be set on that same standard. But here's the thing: you could be as squeaky clean as you possibly can. There's still something, sometimes in years from now, that people will find about your shit and use against you.
Yeah.
Just like adapt and be okay with people adapting, being able to learn from this shit, and stop with this horrific fucking shame trial out in the open for social media. Like, it's stupid. It does nothing.
God, I hate social media.
It does nothing. It does nothing to add to this, man. It's fucking horrendous, man. Y'all I get it. Y'all were bullied when you were younger. I was bullied too. That doesn't fucking mean that I'm gonna go fucking bully some other person on social media, man.
I grew up with the last name Pillow.
And try not to have this mob freaking like, dude, what the fuck is up with these tribal tactics, man? What is up with that? Tribe tactics, it's so embedded in our stupid ass fucking DNA, bro.
Well,
yeah.
I know you have a note on here. Last of Us has cast.
Thank you,
Pedro Pascal joining Last of Us on HBO. The adaptation of, was it a video game, right?
That's fucking my favorite video game.
Leads in the upcoming series. Pedro Pascal is going to be playing the series' main character, Joel. Wonder Woman. He's from, of course, Woman 84, The Mandalorian, and The Equalizer 2. Bella Ramsey stars as the other main lead, Ellie.
Bella Ramsey, of
course. Don't mind rambling.
We've been doing that for a minute.
The Last of Us wasn't. No, I'm thinking Tom Holland's did Uncharted.
Uncharted. He's doing Uncharted, man. And The Last of Us, Ellie Ramsey, of course, for those who don't know. Oh, Bella Ramsey. I said Ella Ramsey. Awesome. But Bella Ramsey, she was actually as Lady Mormont in Game of Thrones. The young badass Lady Mormont, man. And I couldn't picture her at first because her hair is always slicked back and Ellie's is always like, curl gel forwards. But I've seen some pictures of her now, and I'm like, you know what? She could pull it off. She could definitely pull it off. I'm super excited. The writer or the showrunner for this is actually the same guy who did Chernobyl for HBO. And when HBO was like, hey, what do you want, man? Like, Chernobyl was great. What do you want? He's actually a big Last of Us fan. It says, shh, let me do Last of Us. And so they're like, all right, sure. How do we get Last of Us? Well, let me go to Neil Druckmann. And then now Neil Druckmann, who is the creator / director of the game, one of the directors of the game, of the original game, has been coming on as some type of, I guess, I don't know if he's on it as another director, or I don't know if he's on it as a consulting role, but he's attached to the HBO adaptation, which is great. Like Pedro Pascal, I'm like, I don't know if I can see him because I love the Mandalorian, I love him all these other things, but at the same time, when I see him with I see him that beard and I see him with like long hair, I'm like, all right, cool, you Joel. All right, bro, you Joel. Bella, the only negative, or the only negative that I see is that I need to hear her American accent. That's it. If she could pull off some form of like, I can't say New York, but like maybe, I guess California, not Valley Girl, but California accent. I'll just say that. Then I'm all for it.
Got some new Funkos.
Oh, dude,
Lucha Libre, Marvel characters.
What?
Yeah.
What? Where?
El Animo Indestructible,
Where was he from?
aka the Wolverine.
Oh God.
The Wolverine. This is a new line of Funko Pops that came from Marvel. This is the Marvel Lucha Libre edition. This came in the Marvel Collector Core box this past month. That was actually a little bit late. We got this one. Is El Venenoid.
Venom, really?
I love these. I love pro wrestling. I know JR does too. I actually love Lucha Libre style. Growing up in Southern California with Telemundo and being able to see AAA, that was one of my few regrets. And I know I could still go do it, but maybe I'll do it before I die. I lived in San Diego, lived in Oceanside for 5 years, and with here we go. We got the El Venenoid, the Venom.
Oh God.
Having not gone to a AAA show in Tijuana, that kind of pissed me off. I wish I would have gone. And for those of you who don't know, AAA is the WWE, the WWF of Mexico. It's huge. Guys like Rey Mysterio, Conan, La Parca, Chris Jericho.
That's right. He was there.
He was there.
That's right.
I believe. Oh my goodness. Well, guys like in Lance Storm, Lita, Amy Dumas, wrestled in AAA.
Was Johnny? I forgot his name, dude. He's
Johnny Mundo. Johnny
No,
Nitro. I don't know. He may have wrestled in AAA as Johnny Mundo. I know that was mainly on the that TV show. What was it? I can't remember. There was a Mexican kind of Spanish style wrestling show that was put on cable a couple of years ago, and it ran its course, I think. And I think even like Robert Rodriguez was involved with it. But no, AAA is, like I said, the WWE of Mexico, and a lot of great superstars have come out of AAA. And I wish I would have gone down there, but that's the style. I've always been a fan of. Of course, lucha libre means wrestling, or I don't know if that's exact, but I mean it's what it means in Spanish. But it's a style of its own. And of course, it's made famous with the mask, which is everything.
Iconic.
It's iconic. It means everything to the character. I had the privilege of meeting Rey Mysterio
Ray.
in 2003, 2002, 2003, without his mask. That was like, holy cow. I didn't get a picture with him without his mask because shortly thereafter he was told by his handler, dude, you gotta put your mask on. But that was super cool getting to meet him without his mask. So I love this. Oh, and here's the other one. This was El Arachno. It's Spider-Man.
God.
So I thought it was pretty cool. I wanted to share those two. I do actually have a couple more Funkos that are in the other room. I actually got my hands on a Black Panther Funko, an actual Black Panther, meaning Chadwick Boseman Black Panther without the mask on.
Nice.
That might actually stay in the box.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you.
I know JR is one who thinks that all Funkos should stay in the box, but just to show you how much Chadwick Boseman meant to Marvel fans as T'Challa and Black Panther, I think that one, man. And I got it for $7 off Funko's website.
Great.
I also managed to get Deadpool riding a mechanical horse. That is going to get unboxed. It's going to go firmly on display. I also got the large, I think it's a 10 or 12 inch tall. It's one of the biggest Funkos ever made. It's a gigantic thing. It's about the size of my son, a gigantic Pikachu. So it's actually just behind me on my shelf with all my other Pokemon Funkos. But it is, I'd rather not say.
My guy. Cool.
But it was worth it. Just seeing the look on the kids' face yesterday when we opened up the box. I mean, if Pikachu were a real creature, this would be a life-size to scale Pikachu. So,
really?
So we got mail call. Gets us some fun stuff.
Still, hey Kevin. Actually, you know what I've been doing? You know what I've been doing, my dude?
What's up?
I've been looking back on some old Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, my guy.
You got Pokemon cards?
Hell yeah, of
You
course I
better
did,
you
man.
better make sure your sister doesn't steal those.
No, it's me and hers. So like, if
Okay.
she sees them, that's so like. I gotta say, like. Okay, I know for a fact that I definitely am trying. I'm going to look like a gatekeeper when I say this, but I'll preface with this. I love the fact that Pokemon cards are now as seen as the pop culture and cool thing to do now because
Can't get them.
streamers.
I was just gonna say, if anybody can get me some Pokemon cards, hit me up on social media. They are gone, wiped out. You cannot get. My son is
Yeah,
distraught. I owe
yeah,
him 2 big packs of Pokemon cards because he's been doing really
bro,
good in school.
bro,
Can't get them.
bro. I'm telling you right now because it's because of this huge resurgence of Pokemon cards. Right, one I think has been also been headed by the streamer nation,
Yes, it
by
has
people
been.
who streaming, and they've been just doing that. So like, all right, great, that's awesome, right? I will say this: I've been Pokemon collecting since 1995. Right, I've since it literally began. Right, I've been in there when Charizard cards were worth the 1996 edition, when Charizard first edition Shadowless Charizards were still worth $200 back then
They're probably
when it
worth
was
a little
first
bit more now,
released.
aren't they?
There's the a 10 just went for I think 50,000.
Yeah.
So, but I've been just looking at my old stuff, man, and I'm just telling you, man. I have actually this is gonna be my Yu-Gi-Oh collection, and let me just try to get out of my. I don't have a green screen, so I'm gonna just apologies for the mess in the background. Actually, same time, I don't care. You guys know me by now.
I had my mic muted for a second. I was sitting there talking and I was like, dude, your mic's muted, idiot.
But yeah,
That was me.
so cool.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
So this Toon World, this card, I
Nice.
think I just seen it recently back. I think worth $75 for a raw, but then a 10 is like going for like 750 or something crazy. I got my Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon. I posted this on my personal, right? I'm saying I'm being thankful for for old kid me for getting it. Right. I think that's 10 is worth like $750. Again, just some stuff right now. This is my beautiful one right here.
By the way, you can follow
My
JR at also not JR Comics 42 on
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
I'm going to
I
get
gotta
this
start doing.
guy to get a freaking at least a Twitter or a Facebook page.
Oh yeah. I gotta keep on doing that. But yeah. Also, okay. So my original statement was this: like, it's gonna make me look like of course like a freaking a gatekeeper. I was into Pokemoning when it was seen as a nerd shit.
Oh yeah.
When I was when I would come into middle school, right, with my here it is. Oh
And
my god.
I'll throw myself under the bus. I've had my buddies Phil and Jim. Mostly my buddy Jim got me back into Pokemon, playing Pokemon Go, and then the summer of 2016, spending with 2016, 2017, spending time with some of our mutual friends, most specifically your sister,
Yeah.
who, I mean, I'm grateful to have her as a friend and stuff like that, and she's helped me through some tough times the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But spending that summer with her and our friends Sarah and Atner
Yeah, man.
oh my gosh, I'm just doing so terrible right now on names. There's
A lot
Edwin
of people.
and um so
That
many
whole
people,
group.
and we had a whole group of people that
Yeah.
really were into Pokemon Go,
Yeah.
and I got into it. I started to really enjoy it and get the whole idea of it.
Okay, so here is I went to middle school, and yeah, most of middle school with a couple things in my backpack, right? I had my homework, my textbooks for school, maybe it was like maybe one or three. And then I had this freaking thing, my binder full of Pokemon cards.
Yep.
I drew Lugia. No, I drew Mewtwo on the front, and I drew the
Oh,
legendary
nice.
the
Lugia.
legendary birds in the back,
Oh, yeah,
right?
Lugia, Moltres, Zapdos,
Articuno and Articuno.
Articuno.
Yeah, yeah, man. And so like I just have all of these Pokemon. Oh, these are my Yu cards. But yeah, I
And
got some.
I have some. I'm prepping mine right now. I did, and this is just a drop in the bucket of the amount of collecting I've done over the last few weeks. I have really become a fan of Jenny Frieson in her
Mhm.
work,
She's
especially
awesome.
with Wonder Woman. And so
Oh
I've
yeah,
decided to begin
dude. Her.
collecting her variant run on Wonder Woman, and I have
Yeah.
a pretty damn good run. And JR is trying to sneak a peek at what I've
No, 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 no,
put
no.
into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that her Yara Flor, her Yara Flor, the Brazilian woman looks so fucking amazing, dude. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'd also remember this card, bro.
You see, that's the thing is I didn't get big into the collecting of the cards until like the last year or so.
Yeah,
So
you
I
could. You could have only got this card here. This is an ancient Mew. If you watch the original movie
yeah
of back in I think 2000, no, not 2000, hell no, not 2000, like 1998 or so,
yeah.
you only got this card. This is your ticket reveal by saying, hey, you went to watch the Mewtwo and Mew movie.
It should be
And
noted
so
that Pokemon Day is coming up. It's February 27th of this year, and it
yeah,
will mark. I believe this is the 25th
is it?
anniversary. 25th anniversary.
Since
1996 was when
oh,
Pokemon Red and
yeah,
Green
rain,
were
rain, rain, rain.
launched. Matter of fact,
No,
uh,
was it red, or was it red and blue?
I don't know, but I do know they are celebrating the anniversary a week from tomorrow
Mhm.
with um, Pokemon Tour Johto, the Johto Tour, which is the original series, and they are going to be releasing every single one of the Gen 1 Pokemons over a 12-hour period, including for the first
Damn.
time ever, they will be releasing the entire Johto Pokedex in shiny form, including the ability to inevitably catch a shiny Mew. Um,
Ooh.
and they are releasing for the first time a shiny Ditto, which is available in some of the main series game. It has never been available. Um, it's never been available in the Pokemon Go. So shout out to Niantic and Pokemon Go. That's gonna be huge. A week from tomorrow, 12 hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And here's the thing: much like you had to back in the day with Game Boy, and you still have to do today with the Nintendo Switch, is you have to pick which version you're going to play. And much like the original red and green version of Pokemon Go,
Uh,
you will only have the Pokemon that were available in that version of the game. So when you bought the red
uh,
game back in 1996, if you bought red, there was only a set of Pokemon that were available in that game. In Pokemon Go, a week from tomorrow, if you choose to play red, the red version of the Johto Tour, you're only going to have
try me.
you're only going to be able to have Pokemon found originally in Pokemon Red on the Game
Yep.
Boy, and the same thing with
Yep.
Green. And part of it is they want you to trade much like you did in the game. So
Back
it's a
then, remember
really
that
cool
stuff?
event.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was kind of some little people are accusing Niantic of being a little lackluster on the information because they kind of insinuated that on Johto Tour Day they were going to make available all of the shiny
Pokemon.
forms, but there is no possible way that you will be able to get the shiny form of Mew on
Hmm.
Johto Day. It will take you at least a couple of days to get because there's some walking
That's
you have
fine.
to do to earn it. So
That's
people
fine.
were a little bummed out, and plus how they're kind of like very non like there's like kind of like anticlimactic. They're giving the shiny Ditto away. So a lot of people are
That's
kind
fine.
of like, well, this is kind of boring.
I mean, dude, I was one of those kids back then, bro. Back in the day, where like, I remember I bought Pokemon Yellow, the Pikachu version, right? The Pikachu
Yeah.
edition. Before I bought the Game Boy.
You bought the game before the Game Boy.
Well, here's the thing. I had an old school Game Boy. You know that old gray color Game Boy,
I have one,
right?
still have it. It's upstairs.
It died on me, right? Like
Yeah.
I still have it to this day, but it died on me, right? That like the screen just like it just died, and so Pokemon Yellow started coming out, right? I'm like, oh, but what's the freaking difference? Well, you have freaking Pikachu walking around with you, bro. Of course I'm gonna freaking get it, right?
Yeah.
So I bought Pokemon Yellow, and I'm still get roasted to this day from my cousins and my sisters. Like, dude, what the heck? You bought a game before you bought the actual before you bought the actual like thing? Like, yeah, of course I did, man. And I played it when I got my Game Boy Purple, I think, with the slim Game Boy Purples.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And then yeah, I loved it, man. But yeah, I've been in Pokemon for a very, very long time. I fell off the second it went like after I think about third or fourth gen, or like, you know what? I'm kind of just lay off. you know, I love Crocodile. Oh no, I forgot his name. The second gen Pokemon, right? I got a little bit into third gen Pokemon, and then after that, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of out. I'm kind of out of the
Yeah.
Pokemon game. But I still have my Pokemon cards. I still try to collect every now and then. It's cool. I definitely have my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, man. I'm just. It's definitely a great time to be a collector. It's definitely
It
a
is.
great time to be a nerd who love to save your stuff. And I'm definitely gonna be sending some stuff to PSA for them to get graded, and I'm hoping
Yeah,
to
that's a
get
big thing right now. Is CGC just? I mean, they've always been doing cards,
yeah
but they are really making a push right now. So for those of you who have Pokemon cards,
some cards.
even baseball cards, any kind of cards,
Yeah,
trading
basketball
cards,
cards too. Yeah.
CGC is really making it, really
A
helping
push.
out, especially right now with the pandemic, to
Yeah.
grade your cards.
Mhm.
And I know that with you being a D&D fan, and
Uh-huh.
they have, don't they have cards for D&D or
Yeah,
no?
no, no, no. You're thinking Magic. You're thinking
I'm
Magic.
sorry,
Well,
I was
even though
thinking of Magic.
it's it's still the same thing. But like, I do know that yeah, that definitely CGC is doing that now. Doing the card collect, they're doing the card encasing stuff. I am gonna personally gonna go to Beckett. No, not Beckett. To PSA. That is the premier. You want
For
to get your
cards,
if you
right?
for cards specific for anything sports memorabilia,
Yeah.
right? You want to get something that was you want something that was signed by so and so. You have the jersey of it. And you want to get it framed on your wall. Well, send it to PSA, and they will then verify everything, and then they'll give it to you. Because PSA right now, most of the cards that are being sold on either the eBay market or secondhand sellers or even on auctions, PSAs are still the most coveted ones
Yeah.
because they have the highest they're the most not highest but like most
Kind
lauded.
of the highest
They're
standard for
high
grading.
standard,
Yeah.
which is basically it. So I'm going to them because and just seeing these huge differences between prices between a PSA and a Beckett, which they do grading as well, but they do like a 9.5 system, and to CGC. So CGC right now is slowly getting into the game. I'm hoping they do over the years uh continue to build a rep higher than
Yeah.
Beckett even, and possibly be that 1-1-2 with PSA. But right now, just to get my money's worth, man, I'm gonna go PSA just off the bat, and I'm hoping to get into the freaking NBA basketball card game, bro, because Javale has been really trying to
Why
get
don't
me
you
into
just
the
buy
basketball
Javel's
game.
collection off of him, because
No,
he's been trying to unload that thing for like 5 years.
bro, no, I can't. I won't be able to afford it. I legit.
He has a pretty sick collection.
You have no
Oh,
idea,
he's told me, and Chick wants him to get rid of his card collection.
bro. Think of a number. Just think of a number.
It's
How
got
much
to
do you
be
think?
100 grand. He's got the cards or the value.
The value.
Oh yeah. Well, we've had this conversation about the value of what he has in the store and
Mm-hmm.
what his comic book collection is. And I would imagine he doesn't fuck around when it comes to sports cards.
I,
Um,
I I will tell you this. I will tell you just this. One Kobe card
that's
he
right.
just let go of.
He has some Kobe cards. I forgot.
One Kobe card. One Kobe card. He just let go.
He let go of it.
He let go of to do this thing, right? He sold one, right? I won't tell you the number what he sold, but what I will tell you now is that that same card that is sold just recently was sold for 40K.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, he's got some sick stuff.
Oh, you bro,
So
he could be
speaking,
able to retire. So good,
oh yeah, but he's
easily.
Asian. He'll work till he's, you know,
No, he wants to quit. He wants like, nah, I'm just gonna fucking do regular shit. You gonna buy a house in Hawaii and never come back because that's how Javale is, man. I love him, by the way. He's my freaking cool, yeah, man. He's
yeah.
my
I
older
got
brother from.
nothing but love for Q, aka
Oh God,
Maui,
yeah,
aka Javel, aka
big bro.
the drunk master. Um, I got, you told me,
Mm-hmm.
you told me
Mm-hmm.
to buy this artist,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, I got bit
Peach,
by the bug. I got bit by the bug. I got it bad for Peach Momoko.
told you.
So, with that said, this is not Peach Momoko. This is I believe, a Jenny Frieson cover.
Zone.
This is got a little wear there, but doesn't matter. I'm not
Oh,
big deal.
man.
I thought I had this cover, but I didn't. It's Wonder Woman 75, the Year of the Villain cover with Cheetah. Probably one of my least favorite covers.
Yeah.
Not a fan. It's kind of what it is, but I like her style. I just love her artwork and it comes out. So I've got a kind of a mixed bag here. For those of you who are not watching the YouTube show, it's a very intense picture of Cheetah on the cover. And again, we recommend you go over to the YouTube channel, watch it. This is Blade Runner 2029, issue number 1, Peach Momoko cover. This was just recent. Amazing love that cover.
Yeah.
I actually tried to, when this came out, I tried to get it, but shit had sold out by the time I got there. Didn't realize that Peach had worked on this cover. This is Black Cat number 2, the Alien versus variant, and this is with Black Cat. This is a Peach Momoko cover.
Oh, that was her.
Yeah, it was a half job. It was Peach and DW.
Oh, dude, I saw that. I'm like, oh, that looks cool, but at the same time, I kind of want it because
I really like how she did Black Cat.
Okay, you know me. I don't like stuff being shoehorned in with other stuff. Like, if it was Aliens, I would run Aliens by itself, but that's a whole different conversation.
And is it David Finch?
Yeah, David Finch stuff. That's right, Finch stuff came out.
Wonder Woman 69.
Yeah,
that's
very. I will.
Jim Lee-esque almost.
Yeah, I will say that's probably a very tame version of David Finch. I will say.
One of my favorite Jenny Finch covers, very subdued, just simple cover, and again, it really shows off.
Wait, say that name again.
Jenny Frison.
He said Jenny Finch.
Did I say Jenny Finch? I apologize. Jenny Finch.
It's all good.
Beautiful woman too. Jenny Frison. This really shows her work. She's got a very soft look to her. This is Wonder Woman number 78. This is a picture of Diana. Beautiful cover. That really does kind of sum up her work a lot. I think this is still, this is, I believe, still a Jenny cover. This is Wonder Woman 82, kind of classic Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
Pinup style.
Yep.
And by the way, if anybody has ever seen Jenny, she's a beautiful woman in her own right, and she does a fabulous job. And I hope that she continues to do great work.
Absolutely.
There is a Catwoman cover that is coming out that she did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I want it bad. Back to Peach Momoko. This has got a little dent to it, but again, this is for me. Not really looking to move it, but this is a Peach Momoko foil edition of Power Rangers number 1.
Be right back. I need to use the bathroom. I'll be back.
All right. So I wanted this one. Chick ran out, and then there was a second printing that was coming out, and again, I'm trying to do the foil version of Power Rangers number 1. It has the Red Ranger on it, and it's kind of like the costumes kind of getting peeled off. This is a Future State Immortal Wonder Woman number 1. This came out just a couple of weeks ago. Another Peach Momoko cover. I think is this a connecting cover? Let me look. I don't think it is, or I mean a wraparound cover, and it's not. But it's a beautiful cover of her kind of on the ground with the lasso of truth, wind blowing in her hair. Very Peach Momoko-esque. Love it. This one, a very controversial cover. And again, this has got a little bit of wear and tear on it. It's a Virgin variant. This is the Chimerian, the Frost Giant's daughter. This is issue number 1. This is from Ablaze Comics. And it's just a gorgeous cover. Again, I read some controversy on it, and this is the Virgin variant of the Frost Giant's daughter. Awesome. It's a gorgeous cover, but I know that there was some, and the reason why Midtown Comics shipped it the way they did, they shipped it with the cover flipped. I was wondering why. I'm like, I looked at this, I didn't think anything of it, but upon further review of the cover, it is a little
NF said not safe for work.
Well, they don't show anything, but it's alluded to that the girl's a little bit on the young side, and it looks questionable cover. But again, I bought it. I got it for a good price. The stock on it was going up because of Peach's work. Huh? I got it from Midtown.
Okay.
And of course, got some more Peach Momokos. This is the cover A of Doctor Who from Titan Comics #1, featuring the 13th Doctor, as well as I believe the.
God, I'm looking flush. What the hell?
13, yeah. 13. Capaldi was 12. 11 was Matt Smith. So this is Doctor number 13 and number 10, of course, being. What is that? Oh my gosh, David Tennant.
David Tennant. Amazing David Tennant.
And then, of course, here another great one, which I have this one in black and white, the black and white sketch variant of Peach Momoko. This again is featuring the 13th Doctor and the 10th Doctor, and of course the iconic
the TARDIS.
The TARDIS behind.
TARDIS. Yeah.
I sent this to you, bud. A couple weeks ago, didn't get a response. This was from Marvel Unlimited. This book is already skyrocketing on price. This is Iron Man #1 of the current run, the variant edition. It is the blueprint of the Mach 1 of the Iron Man suit. Well, not maybe not the Mach 1.
Oh, you did send it to me.
But this book right now on Key Collector is going for about $50. For basically it's almost paid for the subscription to Marvel Unlimited. Cool. And then this one was another variant I got of Iron Man #2. Has not registered on Key Collector yet, but it's a kind of a cool cover. I thought maybe you like it, but definitely like the blueprint cover. Then of course the scores for the last couple weeks. I got this one was Avengers #42 Legacy cover 742.
Fucking amazing cover, man.
And of course is the Captain America being taken over by the Phoenix Force. Of course, it's the third of 4 connecting covers that'll be out for that series. Again, I cannot say enough of how they are drawing Future State, Kara Zor-El, Superman #2, Superwoman #2. I love the subdued Kara Zor-El, just the basic no S on the chest, so. And then of course
they're definitely making her more like villain S, which I'm actually kind of digging.
Yeah, and then of course there's the cover A cover. And we've got Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl #4.
Totally forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
And then last but certainly not least, this is Future State Justice League #2. I don't know, JR, you're gonna have to help me with this one, who the artist is, but I really did dig on this cover because I love the Wonder Woman, and I love the fact that she is going to be in the Arrowverse.
Oh yeah, no, it's on the bottom left right there. You see it? I just forget. Yeah. What number is that?
This is Justice League #2, Future State Justice League #2. So.
Oh, how do you feel about the Future State right now?
Now, I had this conversation with Sid. Shout out to the Podfather or to the Godfather. I like it. I haven't read enough of the books to really give from a writing standpoint. I've kind of perused through it and read some of the coverage. I like it. I like the fact that they went in saying it was not going to be canon, that this was going to be just a fun what if style story. And what's up?
No, I just found it's Kale. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but New NGU Cal New. I've seen a bunch of his other art before. He's done some art for Spider-Man, for Venom, and all that too. Okay. I'm pretty sure you've seen his stuff too. But yeah,
it's a really cool cover. I really dig it, and I think that's normally it's not one of the main artists that I would usually put, like a Campbell or a Momoko or Art Germ or a Stan or a Jim Lee.
Who's gonna come up?
It's just, I looked at it, yeah, I want the cover.
Dude's gonna come up.
But I'm digging on it, and I was talking with Sid about this the other day. Was the idea of Future State obviously was it's a what if universe for DC, and they did it as just kind of like a just go at it, go after it, just whatever,
Yeah.
F it. And they let writers draw, they let artists write, they mixed and matched, and they should just tell some stories. And I think it was a good idea. It was almost kind of like a go out and be inspired kind of moment
Yeah.
for the
Mhm.
DC writing staff. And but it was like go out and be inspired, but we're gonna fucking print it. We're not gonna just let it be in your diary for 20 years. Like, no, go
Mhm.
out and
And do it.
just go write to your heart's content, and then turn it
Yeah.
in, and we're gonna put it to book form.
Yeah.
So
I remember I do remember reading an article, I forgot what it was, where Future State was actually, yeah, like we said before, it was supposed to be, 5G, and it was supposed to be Dan Didio, his baby, and that was gonna, go into what's the possible, future gonna be for DC Comics. And we all seen what happened. Dan got fired, they scrapped his plans, but they kept some of Future State, and they kept some of 5G, you know narrowed it down, see what's going to happen, and they gave us Future State.
yeah,
I remember the writer that was going to take up the helm for Superman after Bendis left, was that he was going to be doing that. He definitely knew what 5G was. He definitely knew what was going to happen. And then when Dan finally got given the can, was kicking the can down the street, and he's just gone. He said that, oh, some of that stuff transpired and it became what it is now, and they're looking to see what's going to happen after Future State, because from what I'm reading now, it's going to transition into Frontier, I think, or something
I,
Frontier.
yeah. There's a
Yeah,
new kind of like a spin-off of Future State. Don't know
yeah.
enough about it to really
It,
talk
it's not.
about it,
It's
but
got. From what it looks like, man. There is a Wonder Woman cover out, right? And it has that saying that it's going to be, the New Frontier, I think it's called,
yeah,
where it's looking very much like the golden age comics type of thing, which is
yeah,
great, right? Let's see how it goes. We definitely need a type of reprieve from the current offerings before we had of DC post rebirth now.
yeah.
They're dealing, but I do love that they're having continuity stuff. They're gonna be dealing with what happens with after Death Metal. They're gonna be dealing with stuff that happened after Bendis's run with Superman.
Yeah.
Thank God. And then they're gonna be dealing with other things involved if they're gonna keep Yara Flor, who is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, if they're gonna keep some version of Jonathan Kent, who is still an adult teen. Oh my God, Jonathan, you're supposed to be 10 years old. You're supposed to be my little freaking boy who's supposed to go on adventures with freaking Robin, but that's all they can now too. But whatever. Yeah, the Frontier lineup should be revealed already, if I'm correct, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so we're getting a lot more new stuff, and I feel better about that now, considering the fact that I've read little bits and pieces, little here and there's a future state, man. I love it, man. I read the new Batman.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. I love the fact that they're going with more stories. They're giving us longer pages. They're giving us longer page count, and that it's easier to sit down and read and try to digest what is happening in this world, this current world and state. So I just that's freaking cool to me. And I will say, Harley Quinn, kind of it's kind of my what do you call it, my dark horse for being one of my favorite titles of Future State. I will say
Yeah,
that.
and it doesn't hurt that you have was it David Chu doing the covers, and he just absolutely kills when it comes to Harley Quinn. So
Yeah,
but
dude, it's freaking amazing.
that's been my
All
flexible.
you?
I've got a bunch of other stuff. Like I said, I clean sit out on some back issues of Wonder Woman. There you go. Love that cover.
No, bro. Cass and I found out that Campbell is doing his boxes again.
Yeah,
His
I thought about grabbing some, but I
We
do
grabbed a
like that.
bunch, bro.
Oh no,
We
you can
grabbed.
make a killing. Um,
I will say it's a lot of his newer stuff, and then like I wanted some of his older stuff, but granted, the older stuff sold already,
can't beat that
bro.
if you get yourself a Virgin cover.
Oh my gosh, bro. But
Oh, I
yeah,
want that cover.
I
That was
might have
that.
two. I legit might have two. Oh, you're gonna hate me for this one though. Signed.
Yeah, I have that cover, but not the Virgin cover. Ooh.
So yeah, I got 2 boxes from Campbell, and they only limit you one, but you could buy them separately, which sucks because that means you got to pay double the shipping. But I've you
Yeah,
know
for
how
those
my
of you who know,
feel.
they run about $80 a pop, and usually I think there's what is
Yeah,
it? It's 5 or 6 books, and
yeah,
it's 5 or 6 books. You're guaranteed at
two
least
sigs,
one. Was it
2 sigs, at least two.
okay? So you're guaranteed at least 2 signatures, and it's was it 6 books?
Virgin. 6 books right now. Already, dude. About 3 of my books paid for my whole thing.
Yeah. So like I said, like JR said, 6 books, guaranteed one virgin, guaranteed 2 signatures. I scored on the first round. I bought them in 2019. I
Mhm.
bought the day they came out. I think they came out on Black Friday. I didn't get them until like about like a week before Christmas. Um, along
Yeah,
with my Marvel Unlimited uh
yeah.
subscription that year. And the I made out like a band. I think I bought 2 boxes, and I think one of the boxes I bought, every single one of them was signed.
Yeah.
So
I,
you can score, and Campbell's like that.
yeah.
I have
Yes.
bought
The only yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but the only blind box I will fucking put down money for, no questions asked,
is a
bro.
Campbell.
Campbell.
He takes care of the fans. I mean, I've
Mhm.
talked about this before. I bought and kind of wrap up here. I bought a Jessica Jones variant from his store. Just bought an A and B cover,
Mhm.
and I bought the unsigned version because I knew I was going to go to Comic-Con and get it signed. And I didn't pay the extra 20-30 bucks for the signature. Came in the mail, opened it up, boom, there it is, all its glory with certificate of authenticity, his signature on both books. And I did not pay for the signature. Same thing with I did not pay for the signature. I have the Betty and Veronica
Oh
Coachella
yeah, yeah. That's
variant,
the cover.
and I got those are both signed, which is kind of cool. One of them signed with like a green, neon green Sharpie is actually kind of cool. And I didn't pay for it. So Campbell, if you want to guarantee yourself a signature, you're going to
Yeah,
pay for it. But you could
yeah,
take
man.
the gamble and just buy the book and meet up with them at
Yeah.
at a con.
I will say, to kind of wrap this up too, that I was there
Oh,
with him
I
when he
love that
bought it.
cover. Good cover.
Dude, this book specifically blew up in the last couple months, bro. It's
Yes, it
like
did.
a 98's going for a 98's going for like 600-800 bucks. Like what the heck? I got that. I got this one from a blind box. But I will say I don't know if I can guarantee at least two signatures. I know for me in my all my boxes I've had at least 2 signatures.
Yeah.
I will say that. I don't know if they guarantee it. I'm pretty sure they say something in the website themselves. They will say that what you will possibly get. But I know for me, from my own history, is that every blind box that I got from Campbell, I've gotten at least 2 signatures, and that
I
is
it may be the
amazing.
words. It may be in the words. When I bought mine
Mhm.
in the first time, which was 20, I think it was
20,
2018. It was 2018
yeah.
when they did the blind boxes for the first time in 2018. It said
WonderCon.
that one, the only guarantee was it guaranteed one signed,
Mm,
and one was, and it was, they call a high variant.
mhm.
So there was like one was guaranteed to be signed, one was guaranteed a high variant, so that you weren't going to get like you got, whereas a lot of newer books you were looking for a rare,
Yeah.
and it was like a 1 in 50, so which usually means it's going to be a virgin, or it's going to be something tweaked. It's a half black and white, half sepia, or something like that. So
Yep. I mean, it's overall, guys. The the best thing for me that happened, because of course I'm a Camel fan, is that he did those blind boxes, and like
oh yeah,
I would always put down money for it, man. Granted, he has upticked the output rate, and he's putting a lot more books out there, and he's kind of flooding the market, which is
he's
fine.
gonna say he's kind of flooding the market a little bit.
The man needs to get paid. He has an amazing, beautiful wife and kids, so he needs to get paid. I understand that, and I'm definitely gonna be a sucker anyway to buy his stuff, man. But he's definitely always been about being cool with the fans. Hey, your first signature is free, or whatever have you. I know when I went to meet him, right, like, hey, first signature is free. Anything after that is like a certain dollar amount,
Yeah.
and he's always been show. He's been definitely top 5 artists for me. Just meeting them, definitely. But yeah, I had a bunch of other stuff too. One of my favorite covers of the week.
Oh, what you got? What you got? because when you say for a favorite cover of the week, you usually got a good one, dude.
Star Wars.
Oh, the High Republic.
Yeah,
For
High
those of you
Republic,
who do
man.
know, it was kind of brushed under the table, but it's been getting some traction the last couple of
Mm-hmm.
weeks with the new book out that Lucasfilm is going to do a High
High Republic.
Republic show.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of just in passing, kind of mentioned at that stockholders meeting, but it looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Telling the story, and I think at some point we will get in live action form. We are going to get the Mandalorian Jedi War,
Oh God, I hope
and
so.
I
Dude, that'd
think
be
it's going
freaking
to
amazing.
be produced
By
by
by Favreau or Filoni.
Favreau and Filoni.
God, I hope so, man.
Yeah, it's almost a
Yeah,
foregone conclusion. I think what they're going
yeah.
to wait and see is they're going to see how all this stuff flushes out on this end, and they're going to see how stuff like if they do High Republic, see how that ends up. They're going to see how Ando was it no how do you say it no
Andor.
Andor does, how Obi-Wan does in telling the old stories. Obi-Wan could potentially be massive because they're going to
Mm-hmm.
tell not only the story of Obi-Wan, but they're also going to tell how Anakin is fully consumed by the dark side and he leaves Anakin behind and becomes
Yeah.
the grand Sith Lord that is Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that's being played by
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen. So it'll be a
Hey,
lot of fun.
hey, Kevin.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
I can I kind of blow your mind right now?
What?
So after my revisiting of Clone Wars in its entirety, as well as just a lot of Dave Filoni's conversations, you know where I put the prequel trilogies now?
Oh no, are you gonna put them higher?
Yes, sir.
Uh, they
You
are.
know what,
They do add a whole new level of intrigue.
bro?
With
No,
the
bro, that, bro. I'm telling you, I should have told you to watch see more of season 2 of Clone Wars
yeah,
because
I'm
that's
getting
when
there.
things start ramping up. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, it's a different type of game. It's a different type of game. I keep on saying this because after the context you were given between Clone Wars, right, the animated saga,
Yeah,
and the consequences, because Clone Wars, for those who don't know, was for quite a while, for a good part of the first season, is that it was helmed specifically by Dave Filoni and another writer slash director, and Lucas didn't come until probably later on in the season, right? And then after that one, seasons 2 onward, Lucas was there to help out. This is basically the Clone Wars was basically the love letter that Lucas wanted to do to
yeah,
try to tie in all the movies together. And the reason why that happened is because one, you were never supposed to see Obi-Wan and Anakin as mentor and disciple.
yeah,
What really happened is that it's supposed to be seen as their brother and brother. That's not supposed to be, because you see how dismissive before of how Obi-Wan has been when the first movie came along. When he talked about Anakin, when he talked about people, he didn't talk about Anakin as an individual. He talked to him as like, oh, there's nobodies. Why are we here? What happens, what Filoni and what George Lucas, this fucking man, has done with the Clone Wars to intertwine absolutely fucking everything, is how horrible, like what you said, what you wanted to see, how horrible the Jedi Order was, and how so far from the ideals of Jedi they become. People tend to forget Qui-Gon Jinn, not part of the Jedi Council, but he was a Jedi, and how he was so different from the Jedi Council. And you see this, and when you said before, this what I was trying to bite my tongue so freaking much when we were talking about the prequels, is that what you wanted was more that intrigue, more of that political stuff. Where is my things, right?
yeah.
Clone Wars 3 episode, Clone Wars season 3, or is it season 4, dude? The And not only that, but then when people are trying to, we have said before about, well, why the clones then just so easy to kill the Jedi councils? Well, guess what? That gets answered as well. Because the one thing that I'm pretty sure if you've seen a couple episodes already, they build upon camaraderie between clones, right? You
Yeah.
see that more so evidence in the second season and third season. I think there's a certain battle in the third season where it's so fucking beautifully made. It looks like uh it looks like the Stanley Cooper film that we talked about, where they were in Vietnam.
Oh,
We just talked about,
Apocalypse Now.
like they mimic Apocalypse Now in an episode. That's where your genre defying films come from, and the Clone Wars was basically the benchmark to which we're seeing all of the Mandalorian episodes go for right now. That's the benchmark right there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, bro, everything, the Clone Wars animated series was supposed to be the love letter that George Lucas was originally supposed to do for the fans. Why were things so freaking close up? Why was that? You know why? Because Qui-Gon Jinn was supposed to be originally be his master, the Anakin's master, not Obi-Wan. I'm telling you, the more you get into Clone Wars, and you will see the budget definitely go higher in the second season. Just from lighting stuff, the more you try to pay attention, is the more the stuff that you originally wanted. That intrigue, that intrigue of like what is actually good and what's right. You know, why does a Sith Lord just be under everyone's noses for so freaking long? Well, maybe because he was manipulating absolutely freaking everything, and every Jedi was on a fucking goose chase outside of the Empire while he was taking all these control and all this stuff grounded in him. Well, how about all the possible clones that was befriending the Jedi? Yeah. What about Captain Rex? What about Commander Fox? Well, Commander Fox is a fucking asshole, but still, what about Commander Fox?
Yeah.
What about Fives and all of them? Dude, I'm telling you, the reason why Star Wars has continued to be a huge fucking factor in today's game is because of the Clone Wars animated series.
Oh yeah.
Made from Dave Filoni and George Lucas.
Well,
so
I got my homework to do. I am halfway through season 1. I'm really enjoying it. It's really weird to see though Anakin as a good guy almost, so to speak, but you do kind of see at moments where he's teetering on the edge. So I'm still going to give it the full rundown. I am going to watch Rebels. I do want to watch Bad Batch when it comes out. And
yes.
So, well, guys, it has been. We were going to try to do a quick episode, but this turned into almost like a full-on marathon, like we were doing Star Wars again. But who cares? We hope you guys were entertained and enjoyed the episode. As always, you can find it wherever podcasts are available. If you're watching us on YouTube, please click subscribe, like the video. Please leave us a comment about what you liked about today's episode. Also, if you have a chance, just show some love. Head on over to anchor.fm/PS Comics I Love You and find the links to all of our podcast forums. There's available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcast. It's available on anchor.fm, Spotify. It is available on the iHeartRadio app as well as Amazon Music. And of course, you can always tell your device. There's one right over there, and I can't say your name. You can have. I think you can teach her how to play your podcast. So you can use the Alexa app on your smart device. I can't say your name. She'll attack me. Anyways, damn AI. So yeah, use your smart device to listen to us. And of course, as always, if you're listening to us, head on over to YouTube. The link is also on anchor.fm. It's also scroll on down in the description if you're listening to us. And there it is. Click to our YouTube channel. Again, like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. You can also find us on social media at PS Comics I Love You on Facebook, Instagram, and PS Comics I Love the letter U on Twitter, and PS Comics I Love You podcast at gmail.com if you want to reach us. And as always, he is JR Cabacungan, the Dark King.
The Dark King.
At also not JR Comics 42 on Instagram.
And of course, he is my buddy,
the voice of reason, Kevin Pillow. You can find me at Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and so much more. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I want to see, because I need some Pokemon cards. I'm going to do what all influencers do. I'm going to send a link to my Amazon wish list so you guys can buy me some shit. I'm just kidding. You guys are great. Thank you guys so much. And again, we apologize for not getting you the TV side of Star Wars. That is coming. It may or may not be in 3 parts. We don't know yet. So stay tuned.
I hope the whole thing just kind of whet your appetite about what's possibly happening, guys. Because I'm telling you, Star Wars is an incredibly expanding universe, and to kind of rebunk what Kathleen Kennedy have said, no, they do have histories. They do have mountains and mountains of February. They do have comic books to reference to, and y'all should really should take notice too, guys, because you really want to get into the Star Wars universe. Thank
And
you
by the
very
way,
much,
for
guys. Go ahead.
and we'll wrap up on this, and then we'll say goodnight. Again, if you've made it this far and you didn't hear us say it already, we're gonna say it again. If you're looking for us to talk about WandaVision, we have made the decision. We are going to wait until at least the end of the season is
Yep.
the season finale has been aired, and we'll talk
March.
about that and how it connects to. We know already it's going to connect directly into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Kevin Feige has said that, but we will wait till the series is completely over. There's 3 more episodes, and then while the Falcon and Winter Soldier is airing, we'll kind of dive headfirst into WandaVision. And also, we do have a collector's episode coming up very soon where we're going to review
Oh
all the
yeah.
Star Wars and Marvel stuff that came out and why you should be freaking flipping those long boxes because there is some gold
Or
in them there hills. So
them there.
uh, as we do always, guys, please wear your damn mask. Be good to
Yes,
everybody,
please.
and as always, peace. See you guys next
Peace.
week.
Yes, sir. All right, man.